Welcome back to another Euro Fantasy stream, and it has been a hectic morning for me, so that's why there was a slight delay. I wanted to start straight away at 12, and apologies for the ping comment already. I was just trying to see if that works as well, but thank you to Leonardo for becoming a differential. That's massively appreciated, and now, literally as I'm talking, I'm going to be posting my current transfer plans, the most likely thing, to channels and patrons so they see it first. But if I'm being completely honest, it's between the Limitless and making 2 free transfers, and I'll be discussing it throughout the stream. But as always, patrons and channel members get priority. And as I always say, by the way, when people always wait and like, when are you locking in your team? I want a copy. Well, look how poorly I did in match day 1. And that's why it's best to go for your own decisions, because you can certainly do better than the person you're watching or anybody else you're competing against. So it's always best to go for your own picks. But I do appreciate those that have been waiting patiently. We have over 200 people watching already, and we've only just begun. And the timer to the deadline is 1 hour 35 minutes, which will be kickoff between Croatia and Albania. I'll be covering the lineups for both teams, and I think Croatian players have some very interesting picks, especially on the Limitless, as I'll discuss very soon. And to be fair, a lot of my wildcard, Limitless and team selection videos have covered them already, but I can highlight maybe some new picks and some differentials as well. So let me just quickly post that team as well on YouTube. Like I said, it has been a hectic morning. I woke up at 6 and I just got home, but here I am, and the plan is to answer all your questions and cover every single topic. I'm sure one of the biggest questions will be whether to use the wildcard, Limitless, or 2 free transfers. It is team dependent, but I have to say using the wildcard is very unlikely for me, to say the least. So let me just get this up very quickly. I have posted already on Patreon, so if you are a patron, go to patreon.com/analyse. If you have signed up already, you can check out my current transfer plans, and I'll delve into it very soon in the stream as well. But let's get this show on the road. So yeah, almost done with this, so I do apologize for the waffling and also the slightly late start. But I did also put a pinned comment earlier in advance saying that it was a big possibility. But there we go. Going to go straight into your questions in just a few seconds, and the stream will definitely improve in the next couple of minutes. So I've got a lot of polls to show you in terms of the chip strategies and also transfer plans, and I might even put a poll in this very stream about the best captaincy options from Wednesday's matches. I don't even know what day it is right now. It goes to show you where my head's at. But thank you to the new members, and also to Venom. Good to see you again. Thoughts on Gakpo and Kante? Not confident with Kane as an Mbappé replacement. Who else would you recommend? I'm still confident about Kane, but only 1 touch in the first half against Serbia. He had a big chance, which, to be honest, was a great save by the goalkeeper to deny him, but he had a pretty indifferent game, to be honest. The only attackers I was quite impressed by were Bellingham, who was player of the match, and Saka, particularly in the first half, but I think he faded in the second. I still think Kane's a great option for you, but if you don't want to go there, I think Havertz, Ronaldo would definitely be up there in terms of the best Mbappé replacements. I still like Dovbyk for matchday 2, but not so much for matchday 3. And Lukaku had so many big chances. He was so unlucky not to score with 2 disallowed goals. And I think that's a record, by the way. It's the first time at the Euros or any competition for a player to have 2 goals disallowed by VAR, but I have to double check that. Nasser, thank you very much. Looking forward to the stream. Not sure if I use the wildcard or Limitless in matchday 2. Yeah, it will be a very popular question, and I'll cover it very soon. But in my own personal case, I can't speak for everyone. I don't think I'll be using the wildcard. It'll be either Limitless or 2 free transfers for me. Cylindra puts a long question. Hey Dylan, is it worth selling Mbappé and Kalinoglu, Rodri, Kramaric, Kane and Bellingham, Modric, Maya, Austria midfielder? Yeah, I think it is worth it. I like that Kramaric pick. I do prefer Maja in isolation, but I think there are more alternatives in the midfield compared to the forward line. But yeah, I'd probably go for Harry Kane, and to be honest, I wouldn't go for Modric in Euro Fantasy. He might still get a goal or something from a penalty, but yeah, not really feeling Modric nowadays as a Euro Fantasy asset. I do like Baumgartner from Austria. I think he's better than Sabitzer. But yeah, I'd say Kane and Maja would be my top 2 picks there. To be fair, I also like the Havertz and Gvardiol pick. I'll probably go for that then, since you don't have Havertz. Non-Euro Fantasy question, but did you see Arsenal's first 6 games? Yeah, I did. I still think Arsenal can win 4 or 5 of them at least, and they're capable of winning all of them. But ultimately, everyone has the same fixtures, but it is a tough start for the Gunners, and I still think they can do the job. Embolo will start. Not so sure about that, but he didn't start, should I say, in match day 1 because he wasn't fully fit, and the same goes for Zuba, so we could see some changes in the Switzerland team. I think they could be quite unpredictable in terms of the lineups and also formations. Use Limitless in match day 3, even though there might be rotation, potentially. So glad I didn't change captaincy from Havertz. Also best captain for each day in match day 2. I have covered this in all my videos and I'll be talking about it very soon, but yeah, I did say at the time, if I had, 8 or 9 points from my captain, even on the first day, I would have kept it. And it's pretty much a repeat for me from match day 7 in Unisaw Fantasy. You have like 4 or 5 shots of the captaincy and you still don't get a captaincy haul. I had Mbappé with 4 points. That was my best pick, but I still changed to Bruno Fernandes, and ultimately every single captain blanked or underperformed big time. You can't cancel the Limitless or Wildcard once they're activated, which I have covered in my chip strategy guide as well. So yeah, I'm going to go to the more recent questions, of course, because this was at the very beginning. Man United's finished also said, yeah, I know City first game, but Ipswich play Liverpool and City first 2 games. Yeah, that's a very tough start for Ipswich Town. Let's wait and see if Nanny Southgate parks the bus after Bellingham scores a tap-in. Look, he has done a good job with England, but I do think a better manager could definitely get them over the line. That's the way I feel. Mbappé and Shaqiri sell, if yes, to who? The thing with Shaqiri is, if he starts, he's a great option in match day 2, but that isn't a guarantee. I think Mbappé is a sell. It looks like he'll miss the rest of the group stages, although there are some conflicting reports as well. Just going to go through some of the channel member questions as well as I catch up. So thoughts on DeMarco and Kalinoglu to Akanji and Maja. I'm completely on board. Akanji made 11 ball recoveries in match day 1. Decent prospect of a clean sheet against Scotland, and Maja against Albania. I think he's probably Croatia's best attacker from a Euro fantasy perspective. Livakovic, yep, I think he's a great option for match day 2, but not so much for the last match day of the group stages. I got 58 points, not bad. Yeah, I think that's fairly decent. Rakovic, a differential. I'm not really on board. I remember you said Pavlovic will pocket, sack and all of that. Didn't happen, did it? But yeah, I think Serbia still have some decent options. And wildcarding. Interesting. I think the wildcard won't be very popular right now. Most people will save it for match day 5 or use it in match day 3 to tackle the rotation. John says, greetings from the security line at Orlando International Airport, Dylan, and members. Swerve from Havertz captain to Bruno. Yeah, that's unfortunate to be fair, but with so many different opportunities at getting a higher score, I don't blame you for trying it. And yeah, for Mbappé, Lukaku, De Bruyne, Bruno Fernandes, Ronaldo, all these big hitters to blank, Harry Kane, it's very surprising. So yeah, good luck with your travels and have a safe journey. Do you think I should sell Mbappé and Brozovic and buy Havertz and De Bruyne? I'm still keen on De Bruyne. He created 3 chances, but they were all in the first half, and a lot of them for Lukaku. I think Kai Havertz is a great acquisition. Now, he did score because of a penalty, and I don't think he would have taken it if Gundogan was fine, because obviously he was the one who won the penalty and he was kicked. Absolutely kicked by Porteous, and that's what resulted in the red card. But Havertz, for me, had a great overall performance in just 60 minutes. Fulkrug is knocking on the door. As soon as he came on, he scored a belter. But I think Havertz will be the starting striker throughout the tournament, and he's a great purchase. And as for De Bruyne, I'd still back him to do well in match days 2 and 3. What do you think about wildcard match day 2 and Limitless match day 3? It is team dependent, and I'm not completely against it, but I have to say with the wildcard right now, I'm leaning towards saving it for match day 5, which I always highlighted as a possible strategy for me. And the Limitless, I think I'm going to be using it in match day 3. That is my current thinking, but I could still end up doing it. It's between that and 2 free transfers and buying some German attackers, at least one of them. And I did put a poll out to pretty much delve into my transfer plans as well. Hey Dylan, I have similar team in terms of number of players from specific teams. Do you think we can Limitless match day 2, since many of the players in the match day 1 draft will still have something to play for in match day 3 and save the wild card? That is a good question, and you might be right about that, but there could also be some upsets or certain things happen in match day 2, which results in match day 3 kind of being sealed off for certain teams, and you could see rotation regardless. But I have to say with the Limitless, I'm still looking at using it in match day 3 at the moment. I can't guarantee that's what I'll end up deciding on by the end of the stream. Dylan, what should be the criteria for Limitless in match day 2? I butchered the match day 1 deadline transfer because of the site crash. That's interesting as well, the criteria for a match day 2 Limitless. I think if you've got 6-7 players that you're not happy with for this match day, but you might like them for match day 3. For example, Szoboszlai facing Germany today, and then it's going to be Scotland for the final group stage game. that's a sort of pick which could actually work out in terms of using the Limitless now and then using free transfers in Matchday 3. So I think that's the sort of criteria we're looking at. Yeah, I still like Dovbyk and Sudakov, but I have to say Romania did shock us all. I thought it'd be a low-scoring game. I went for 1-0 Ukraine, but yeah, I have to say, Romania, big credit to them. They played very well and deserved their victory. What if Mbappé ends up playing? There is a small chance, and some reports do indicate that he could play. I think Fabrice Hawkins, who is very reliable from RMC Sport, he said originally that Mbappé can still play, but then the following day, and I think that was, what, on Monday, if I'm not mistaken, or Tuesday morning, he said that Mbappé will miss the rest of the group stages. Alex Leadham says, hey Dylan, been a while with exams, but hope you're doing well as always, mate. Good luck with your exams, hopefully you do well, and it's good to see you once again. Do Germany and England play on the same day? No, they don't, and a quick check on the Eurofantasy website or the app will tell you that, and I can show you right now as well. So if we toggle this to date, you will see that those playing on the 19th include Mittelstadt and Germany, you've got Hungary versus Scotland, and you also have Croatia versus Albania. England play tomorrow on the 20th of June, and that's the way it works. I can also show you using the predictor, if I can get that up now as well. Yeah, so as you can see, England play tomorrow at 5 o'clock UK time. We also have Slovenia versus Serbia and Spain versus Italy on Thursday. On Friday, we have Slovakia versus Ukraine, Poland versus Austria, and the Netherlands against France, which looks like a highlight game of Matchday 2, I have to say. Then on the Saturday, to conclude Matchday 2, we have Georgia against Czech Republic, Turkey against Portugal, and Belgium facing Romania. Ignore that 3-0 prediction. I made these before the tournament started. There will be a lot of changes with these, trust me. I've already changed the results for today and added the first scorers and teams to score. But I'll go into the predictor later on as well. We've got some big issues to talk about our team selections, and let me actually show you some potential transfers I'm looking at. So I think this should work. So at the moment, I'm looking at buying Kai Havertz and potentially another German attacker in Wirtz, Musiala, or maybe even Saka. And this is something I put in my poll very recently. I might show you the polls very soon and then go back to the team selection, because as I said, I haven't fully locked in yet. I haven't had much time to think about my squad today. I just got home, and throughout the stream, whilst answering your questions, I'll also be finalizing my team selection. It will either be the Limitless being activated or using 2 free transfers. And that is the alternative. I don't think I'll be playing the wildcard, to be honest. Same plan as your Limitless in Game Week 3 to deal with rotation. Yeah, look, so it goes both ways, right? The Limitless can work out in terms of helping you deal with rotation, but at the same time, you can get stuff wrong, which is what Badgeras says in the following comments. So I think there's pros and cons towards using the Limitless in Matchday 3, which I could also discuss by going to some of the graphics I've made in the past. So this is a comparison of the wildcard and Limitless for those of you that aren't aware. You have 1 chip each for the wildcard and Limitless. It doesn't matter if you're using the group stages, you won't get another one for the knockouts. Unlimited transfers, yes, for both chips. Unlimited budget only for the Limitless. On the wildcard, you have to adhere to a 100 million budget in the group stages. Then you get a 5 million increase in Matchday 4. In terms of team resets once the matchday is over, with the wildcard, no, the changes are permanent. But on the Limitless, your team does reset once the matchday is over. It's like a free hit with no budget restrictions. And in terms of transfers, I mean, I'll probably skip this as well, just go to the tables. So before the tournament starts, we've already gone past that. We had unlimited transfers. Now in the group stage, we get 2 per match day. And I'm sure some people are going to be asking in the live chat, if I roll a transfer, will I be able to have 3 or 4 transfers in the next match day? And the answer is you can stack transfers in the group stages, but only 1, and have a maximum of 3 free transfers in match day 3. Then when we go into the round of 16, we get unlimited transfers, so you can't play the wildcard or Limitless in that match day. For the quarterfinals, you get 3 free transfers, 4 for the semifinals, and 5 for the Euros final. Of course, these are the groups which we've covered in detail already. My strategy before was this: Limitless in Matchday 2, wildcard in Matchday 3, but the alternative strategy is what I'm looking at doing at the moment. So that will be a Matchday 3 Limitless and a Matchday 5 wildcard. So it allows me to be more aggressive in the round of 16 as well. And as for a chip comparison, these are some pros and cons for using both chips early. And the right-hand side shows you the pros of saving the wildcard for Matchday 5. So there's definitely some interesting points to be made on both sides. So For example, if you use the Limitless in 2 and then use the wildcard in 3, you can target the weakest teams and earn high scores in the group stages. But we have seen a few upsets already, mainly in the Belgium versus Slovakia game, so it's not always set in stone. And Euro Fantasy is a short format, only 7 match days, so getting off to a strong start is crucial. I haven't done that whatsoever this time round. The wildcard or Limitless can help you tackle rotation in matchday 3, but as I just mentioned, the kind of against point is that the rotation in matchday 3 is unpredictable, so it's not always going to be that easy, even with a chip activated. Matchday 2 fixtures aren't particularly appealing for the best nations. That's another kind of con for using both chips early, and also a plus point of saving the wildcard for matchday 5. We can build a better wildcard late in the competition as we start to learn the best teams and players in Euro Fantasy. You can optimize your squad for match days 1 to 3 with essentially free hit squads. Then in match day 4, I wouldn't really class that as a free hit, because if you use both chips early, you'd want to get that match day 4 unlimited transfers team spot on in order to kind of not book in too many transfers and take hits in the knockouts. There are more match days in the knockouts than the group stages, and some managers will take points hits if they don't save the wildcard for match day 5. So that's kind of a pro point for saving the wildcard. There are more transfers in the knockout stages as well compared to the group stages, but we also get eliminated players as we advance into the knockouts. So that's another few points to consider. There is also a risk of having multiple eliminated players, and the wildcard can bail you out. And for example, let's say Switzerland face Germany. I know it's probably not going to happen. Well, they're in the same group, actually. Let me use a better example. Let's say Germany versus, I mean, who are we going to say at this point? Germany versus Portugal, for example. I know it's not going to happen in the round of 16, but let's say you're fancying Germany to win that, and let's say with Portugal, you'd still want to go for Bruno Fernandes or Cristiano Ronaldo. Well, you can go for those players in the round of 16, even though you expect them to be eliminated. You get some points maybe in the process in match day 4, and then in match day 5, you can wildcard them out and have another established team for the rest of the competition. And finally, manual substitutions aren't important in match day 7 for the Euros final. So from match days 1 to 6, you can make substitutions and change the captaincy. You can't do that for the final match day for the Euros final. It's worth mentioning that it also happened in UCL Fantasy for match day 13 only 3 weeks ago. And finally, having the wildcard in your back pocket allows you to pick more differentials as well, not only going for players from, you know, teams like Portugal, as I mentioned, who you might expect to be eliminated, but they can still do the job for you in the process. So that's kind of an extensive look at the chip strategies, but at the moment I am leaning towards Limitless in matchday 3 and the wildcard in matchday 5. Let me know in the live chat what you're looking to do as well. And let's now go back to my transfer plans. I think that is probably the best thing to do. And also, I'd be very interested to see what you think. I think Havertz in for Mbappé is very likely for me, and that gives me the funds to upgrade a Højbjerg, Szoboszlai or Jorginho. And I'm looking at Germany attackers or Bukayo Saka. Now, the only way to get Bellingham for me is to sell a De Bruyne, Bruno Fernandes or Szoboszlai. And of course, Szoboszlai would be the one to offload in that scenario. But I have to say, I'm more confident and also leaning towards going for Germany attackers, and that's one big regret I have for matchday 1. I think overall the squad was good and it's just maybe a bad outcome, but the one regret I have is not going for a German attacker against Scotland. That's pretty much all I can say. I'll probably show you an updated Limitless and Wildcard team very soon, because I might still activate the Limitless chip, it has to be said. But before I get back into your questions, and I obviously do appreciate I normally am more interactive in terms of going into your questions and pretty much listing all of them off. I'll get to them very shortly, but I wanted to cover all this different piece of information to give the full picture in terms of matchday 2, which can be a very confusing time for many Euro Fantasy managers. So now, let me show you some polls I put out very quickly, and this could help you with deciding what to do. At the moment, over half of you are using free transfers in matchday 2, with 32% using the Limitless, and only a handful, 15%, are using the wildcard as well. As for the other poll I put out, and by the way, apologies for that. Let me just get rid of the message on screen. The other poll I put out is in relation to my transfer plans. So at the moment, either Højbjerg or Jorginho to Musiala is leading, and in second place is Szoboszlai to Bellingham. And shout out to Weiseng for that great comment, musical time. That is obviously in relation to an autocorrect I had once during a UCL Fantasy stream. Be sure to join the league code still. You can still join, and all the points scored from the beginning of matchday 1 will be applied. The league code is JCRHjQ. The J is lowercase, and there is an auto join link in the description below, and be sure to check out my Twitter and Instagram, DylanRCM, and also join the Discord server, which is a great community to be a part of, and also consider becoming a patron or channel member to get early access to my team news. And also in terms of my videos, you can sometimes get them up to a week early, and most of the time you'll get them days in advance and before any subscriber or normal viewer. And as I mentioned as well before, I will be covering the Croatia versus Albania lineups as they come out. So if you do see that they are already available, then be sure to let me know. I'll be going through them very soon. But let's get back into the transfer plans at the moment, and I'll be showing you a Limitless and Wildcard team very, very shortly. So, apologies by the way for the freezing in the transitions. I'm not sure why that's happening, but maybe it's just the heat and the laptop is just absolutely bugging. Yeah, you can put your score predictions, of course. It's completely up to you. Twan says, should I sell Trossard or Hakan Çalhanoğlu to Gula? Maybe Çalhanoğlu, but I wouldn't sell Trossard with good fixtures. There is a chance that Trossard is benched, but if he starts, I'd still prefer him over Gula in Matchday 2. Remember, Turkey play Portugal next, and I wouldn't really back them in that game. It will be Kai Havertz. He's playing up front for them. Füllkrug is the backup, and he's got a great record for the German national team. I think it's now 12 goals in 17 games, but it will be Kai Havertz up front. Or is it just because Gvardiol plays for City, so he's a more well-known player? I'm not sure what the other question was. I'm guessing it's about other Croatian defenders, but I think Gvardiol has the best attacking threat. He's playing in a left-back role, which allows him to be more advanced. He also is quite decent for ball recoveries, as he showed in UCL Fantasy, so it's not just about that. Gvardiol was way better than Stanisic last game. I was more direct at attacking and playmaking. Yeah, and of course we can't judge too much from one game, but with Gvardiol, as I just said, ball recoveries he has shown already in UCL Fantasy multiple times, and he's playing a more advanced role for Croatia. 50 points in UCL, or UCL, I wish I was playing UCL Fantasy, in Fantasy Team, and 100 in Predictor. That's a great start. Using your Limitless draft today, yeah, there's probably a few changes to be made. By the way, if you aren't aware, I did highlight an updated Limitless and Wildcard team in yesterday's video, the team selection, but even still, there's a few changes to make, especially with Mbappé, who will likely miss Matchday 2 and 3. So, yeah, good scores there. Man United's finished. We'll be going through them very soon. I've gone for 2-0 Croatia at the moment, but I might change that. 3-2 Germany and 3-0 to Switzerland against Scotland. Let's wait and see. Will Trent play against Denmark? I think so, but he isn't nailed on. There's no doubt about that. I think my favourite England defender right now is Mark Gay. Best Swiss attackers, Shaqiri if he starts, but he's not someone to have beyond one match day. So basically, if before the deadline we find out that Shaqiri is starting and you're playing the wildcard or Limitless, I really like him as a one match day punt. But beyond that, I really wouldn't be advocating for him for match days 2 and 3 combined. Playing the Limitless today and going for double Germany midfield, Wirtz and Musiala. Thoughts? Yeah. If I play the Limitless in the end, I'll be going for both of them as well. Will Trent start? I've just covered. I'll try to not do that again in terms of repeating the same questions. I don't think Bellingham would score today. Well, he is playing tomorrow, to be fair, but I get your point. I want to go Yamal for Mbappé. Thoughts? I don't think that's a bad call. My only issue with that is he's facing Italy, who, despite being a bit shaky against Albania at the beginning, they responded very well. They scored 2 early goals to make the comeback, and Italy are one of the most prestigious teams in this competition. They've won the Euros twice, and obviously 4 World Cups to the name. They've still got some good players in there, especially Barella and Bastoni. But yeah, look, Yamal, he's an amazing talent at 16 years old, and I particularly like him for Matchday 3 against Albania. That is a great pick. Thoughts on a Croatian attacker, specifically Kramaric? Yeah, I've actually put Kramaric to score first in my predictor. I also would consider Budimir, but my favourite Croatia attacker is probably Maja in the midfield. What is the better midfielder option? I already have Bruno, Çalhanoğlu, Szoboszlai and Wirtz. Money isn't a problem. Well, I'm looking at Musiala or Bellingham, actually, yeah. And Saka still has a good record for England. You can consider him, but I'd say Musiala or Bellingham in your case. Will Shaqiri start next game? I have a sneaky feeling he will, but I'm not convinced. I'm not fully confident in my answer. It's just a gut feeling, and I hope, for those that have him, that Shaqiri starts. I honestly think Kiri will start today. I don't think he's crap. Maybe nowadays he's not to the same level as before, but he can still perform for the Swiss national team. Who would you pick on a Limitless draft, Wirtz or Gundogan? I have covered this in all my videos. I would go for Wirtz. And I also talked about this before match day 1. Gundogan is the main penalty taker, but Wirtz for me, I think he's going to have a good tournament. And of course, he scored the opening goal. Let's see if he continues that. Great question by Bruno. Mitrovic or Ronaldo this game week? Very, very close, I have to say. Mitrovic is a very underrated option against Slovenia, but I think I'm going to go for Ronaldo. Trossard for Wirtz? Yeah, I think Wirtz is an upgrade, but don't discard Trossard and Belgian assets just yet. I still think they can deliver in match days 2 and 3. Debray says Dovbyk, Kramaric, Vlahovic or Griezmann, Lukaku. My favourite from the lot would be Lukaku still. I think Vlahovic and Kramaric are interesting as well, but I'd probably rank it Lukaku first, Kramaric second, Vlahovic third, Dovbyk fourth, and Griezmann 5th. Hi Dylan, worst fantasy score I've ever made. Yeah, this is my worst ever start to any fantasy game, but it's only match day 1. There's a lot to learn still, a bit of variance as well, but you've got to take on the chin and still enjoy the games. Wirtz or Musiala for captain? That's a great question, and to be honest, if I make 2 free transfers, I need to decide which German midfielder to buy, and at the moment I am leaning towards Musiala, so that's probably going to be my answer. But I have to say Wirtz is probably more consistent in terms of goal contributions, at least for his club, because for their country, their records aren't particularly great. Remy FC says, Szoboszlai, DeMarco, Mela, Jorginho, Mbappé, Eriksson, 2 free transfers, who to remove? I'd say Mbappé. I don't think he'll play again in the group stages, according to reports. And if possible, I would sell Mela. Because, as I mentioned as well in my predicted lineups videos, the fullbacks are so difficult to predict with Bar and Christensen. And we could see Mela start one game, but it might not be the one you want to see. For example, he might start match day 2 against England and then be benched for the easier game, so to speak, against Serbia. Who to get in for Szoboszlai for 7 million or less? That is a great question. I think Maja for this match day only. Who would you sell and for who? Well, from my team, as I've covered, it would probably be Jorginho and Mbappe making way for Havertz and Musiala, but I am considering other options in the poll I showed you earlier as well, for example, so that isn't locked in whatsoever. I do apologise, by the way, but recently, I don't know, a nearby building or nearby room in the building, they've had like paint done and stuff like that, so that's probably why I'm getting a bit of an allergic reaction. But thank you to those that are tuning in. Let's get this stream to over 200 likes nice and early. It'd be massively appreciated. And once again, I have to stress to those that are channel members and patrons, check out the community tab or www.patreon.com/DylanRCM and check out the team that I'm currently leaning towards at the moment. But I have to say, the Limitless is still likely for me. And speaking of which, let's now show you what I could do on the Limitless. So let's make these changes. Diogo Costa, I think, could still be in, but that isn't absolutely guaranteed. So we'll start off with the Limitless, I think, probably best. Okay, so yeah, Livakovic is also an option. I'm going for Neuer and Costa right now, I think, for the Limitless. I would also go for Akanji against Scotland. 11 ball recoveries in match day 1, 5 points overall despite conceding to Hungary. Gvardiol would come in for DeMarco. You can go for Stanisic or an alternative Croatia defender like Sutalo, but my preference is Gvardiol because of that attacking role he's playing and the ball recovery potential he demonstrated at Manchester City this season. Joao Cancelo will remain. I do like Wout Faes still, and to be honest, if I am going for a Belgian defender, I might actually go for Wout Faes over Castagna simply for the ball recoveries. So I know it seems strange to have a 4 million defender on a Limitless, but I would definitely keep the option open. The same goes for Mark Gay over Trent Alexander-Arnold or Kieran Trippier. At the moment, I think I'd go for Trent. And by the way, I've mentioned him a few times in the build-up to match day 1, but I do like Koundé. He's a ball recovery machine, and he delivered 9 points against, I almost forgetting who he's played against Austria in the opening match day. Kevin De Bruyne, I think, will remain. I'll take away Højbjerg, Jorginho, and Szoboszlai. I'll keep Bruno Fernandes too. Let's go for Jude Bellingham, who makes it into the Limitless team. And I'll probably go for 2 German attackers in Wirtz and Musiala. And as a result, I won't go for Havertz up front, but you can still go for that if you wish. Of course, I'm going for Neuer and 2 German attackers there already. So I would probably go for Lukaku, Kane, and I'd say Cristiano Ronaldo again, potentially. But I do have 3 Portugal players already. So I think a lot of you are experiencing this issue as well, where if you don't have a Portugal or Germany slot available, who do you go for? And I still like Yamal, Mitrovic, Vlahovic, and I'd say Kramaric. And to be honest, I think it's between Kramaric and Mitrovic for this final forward spot in this Limitless team I'm showing you here today. And I think I'm going to go... Let's go for Mr. Kramaric, I think. I'm just a... You know, let's just say it's not a locked-in pick on the Limitless, but I think one Croatia attacker could certainly pay off. And for example, if you want Kai Havertz up front and a triple up in Germany attack, you could maybe get rid of Neuer for Livakovic and then go for Havertz instead of Kramaric. That is something else to certainly think about. Yeah, I think that could certainly work. I don't want to go too in on certain teams, but I will admit a double up in Belgian attack, a double up in the England attack, and also in Germany. Maybe not the best balance you'll ever see in the attack, but I'd go for something like this, I think, on the Limitless. It looks strong still. There are some tough fixtures for the likes of England and even Belgium potentially, with Romania looking so strong against Ukraine in Matchday 1. But yeah, this is kind of a provisional Limitless team after all the information from the last couple of days. So let's go back to your questions. I'll also show you the wildcard team very shortly, and then I'll start to finalise my own squad, which is something I don't do early enough sometimes. Yeah, Croatia, Albania lineups out for me on SofaScore. Thank you. I'll have a quick look myself and see if they are out on the UEFA website. They probably are, to be fair. Yes, they are. Yeah, so let's get this up. I appreciate that to those that mentioned it, like Man United is finished. Great name. So let's go through the lineups from the early kickoff. Oh dear, am I stupid? Yeah, I am stupid. I think I closed the tab which had the... I'm going to have to do this very quickly. Apologies for that. But yeah, here's the Croatia versus Albania lineups. I'm going to have to pause the video that they're going to pop up, which I don't want to get copyrighted for. So, nope, I'm not getting caught out there. That's not even loading. Okay, so the Croatia team is Livakovic in goal, Juranovic, Sutalo, Gvardiol and Perisic as a back four, Modric, Brozovic and Kovacic with Maja, Petkovic and Kramaric. So, no Budimir up front and no Stanisic, who is on the bench. That's worth considering. I think Gvardiol is the best option, despite the fact that he's not playing at left back. It seems like Perisic will instead. Perisic is still someone to consider, by the way, even though he's out of position in a negative sense, because he has a great record for the Croatian national team. As for Albania, I think it's an unchanged lineup. Let me just quickly check that and verify. No, I think they've made one change in the midfield. I know 2 changes because Broja is on the bench as well. So Strakosha between the sticks, Mitai, Ayeti, Jimitsi, and Haisai. I think that's the way I've been told by Albanians to pronounce it, but of course it's not a perfect pronunciation. It's probably terrible, and you're laughing. So that's Lassi, I think it is. Honestly, I apologise. I do apologise. Ramadani, Aslani, Bajrami, and that's Manaj and also Asani. So that is the starting 11 for Albania. They have made a few changes from their opener against Italy. So let's wait and see what this game has in store for us. But I have to say, from a Euro fantasy perspective, my favourite options from today's match, this one in particular, is Livakovic, Gvardiol. I'd probably say Kramaric and Maja. And my favourite overall, probably Gvardiol with Maja in second. So those are the lineups. I've covered them already. If you have any other questions, be sure to let me know. And you can always rewind the stream or pause it to, see what the 2 lineups are. But let's get back into my squad, which definitely needs to be locked in very soon. In Matchday 1, we had issues with the website 5 to 10 minutes before the deadline. So try to lock in your teams as early as possible. I do expect a lot of traffic for the website, especially with the Limitless and Wildcard chips being played, and also with free transfers being confirmed after the lineups, which we just saw. We won't know the Germany lineup until 4 o'clock roughly, UK time. And as for Switzerland, if you're still hoping for Shaqiri to start, it is a big risk either way. But my current prediction is that he will start. Let's see how wrong I am. Yeah, so as I mentioned before, be sure to smash the like button. We do have over 500 people watching. Oh dear, I'm not sure why I'm getting a YouTube error message. Let me know if the live chat is maybe a bit jittery, if there's issues. Maybe it's a YouTube problem and everything is fine on my end. But yeah, I'm not sure what's happening there. So hopefully, yeah, the stream is fine. I honestly don't know why. It's very rare for me to get a error message. But let's get into your questions again and see what you're saying. So yeah, thank you, Aaron, and Man United is finished for letting me know. Serious lag is going on. All right, thank you for letting me know. Yeah, so YouTube are correct. I'm not sure why, because on my software that I'm using, it's all green, not many drop frames, everything is fine. So, no, it's not my final team. I haven't made my transfers yet. And I might even play the Limitless, which I've said before. Trossard to start? Yeah, I think so. How old are you? 25. Vargas or Maja? Maja for me. Is Rodri worth keeping? I still think so. If it wasn't for that penalty conceded and the yellow card, it would have been a solid 4-pointer from him. Should I make my 2 free transfers before I make the Limitless team? So yeah, just to make it very clear, your transfers won't count that way. So once you play the Limitless and you activate it, that will be your squad for Matchday 2 only. And then once you get to Matchday 3, your team reverts to how it was before you made any transfers or activate the Limitless. So no, if you make 2 transfers, then activate the chip, they won't go through. Gundogan, Gvardiol, Tar, or Mittelstadt captain? I'd actually be tempted by Gvardiol from those options. Or, yeah, Gundogan, of course, would still be quite decent. But, yeah, I don't think I'd captain a German defender. I think I'd go for Gvardiol, actually. However, if you had Wirtz, Havertz, or Musiala, I'd go for one of them instead. Yeah, I just covered that Mubstain, so, or hopefully I just butchered your name, didn't I? Yeah, I just covered that question, so yeah, you can't do that. Nasser says Casteels plus Livakovic plus Gundogan, or downgrade one of the goalkeepers, for example, to Rajkovic, and upgrade Gundogan for Wirtz. All good transfer options, to be fair. I do like them, but I think I would consider downgrading Casteels for Matchday 2 only. That could be a potential solution. Go to Rajkovic and then buy Wirtz for Gundogan. But to be honest, I think they're all good transfer plans. I don't think any of them are necessarily bad. What's your plan this day? It's between 2 free transfers, which will likely be German attackers, or using the Limitless. And at the moment, I'm likely to use the 2 transfers and save the Limitless for Matchday 3. Is Kante a gem? I think he's pretty good for ball recoveries, but he's not going to get 9+ every single match day and deliver 3 ball recovery points in a single match. Not every single game, but yeah, I think he's fairly decent at his price. You can't really complain too much. He's definitely better than Jorginho and Højbjerg, who I have. Carvajal or Theo? For Matchday 2, I prefer Theo. Sell Jorginho to Wirtz or DeMarco to Croatia defender? I'd sell DeMarco to a Croatia defender, but you know what, actually? Nah, it's Jorginho. Nah, scratch that. I'd sell Jorginho to Wirtz. I think that's what I'd do. Why would you consider using the Limitless above the wildcard? Because at the moment, I'm looking at saving the wildcard for Matchday 5. I've had a poor start in Matchday 1, and I feel I could build a stronger wildcard team as I learn more about the best players and assets and the best teams in this tournament. So I think the way my team is structured, I could get away with 2 free transfers this match day, use the Limitless in Matchday 3, and then wildcard in 5. But I'll be honest, it's not set in stone. But I just think the wildcard is stronger in the knockouts, whilst the Limitless will be weaker because of the budget restrictions. You get a 5 million increase in budget in Matchday 4. So yeah, that's also a big reason why. Towards the beginning of this stream, I actually covered the 2 chip strategies again and all the points I covered from the chip strategy guide. So I definitely recommend you rewind and check that out because it has a lot of information there which can be very useful. Dylan, Havertz, Gundogan or Mittelstadt? Who's the best captain? I'd say Kai Havertz. Rice or Maja? I'd go for Maja just for the attacking potential, but Declan Rice will be decent for ball recoveries. Not the best, but pretty decent. Pick 2, Pedri, Fernandes, Musiala. Definitely Fernandes and Musiala, although De La Fuente reportedly wants to see Pedri get more goals and assists in this role he's playing. Thank you to Babby for the super chat. Hopefully I haven't mispronounced your name. Robertson, 12-pointer, trust. Wow, I mean, that'd be massive against Switzerland. I think that's going to be a very tough game for the Scots. It's possible. I don't think that'll be the case, but let's wait and see. I've been proven wrong many times in football, and especially in this Euro tournament so far. Maja plays for Croatia. He's a midfielder in this game, 6.5 million. He'll be playing on the right-hand side. In recent friendlies, he's been in great form for the Croatians. Keep Mbappé or sell to Ronaldo. I'd sell him. It looks like Mbappé will miss match day 2 and 3. Gakpo or Griezmann. Gakpo was very impressive in the first half against Poland. For this matchup, it's difficult, but I think Gakpo is a slightly better Euro fantasy option, actually. Is Ruben Vargas nailed on? I don't think he's completely nailed on, especially with Mbolo just returning from an injury, and you've also got a few other options in the attack. So, yeah, I don't think he is nailed on, to be honest. Mbappé out for Yamal and Højbjerg out for Musiala. Thoughts? I'm completely on board. I like the transfers, and I'll be doing something similar, but I think I'd go for Kai Havertz instead of Yamal in my case. Szoboszlai or Trossard? For this match day, Trossard, assuming he starts. Should I sell Trossard? Depends on your team situation. Who would you go to? I do prefer Wirtz, Musiala right now, Kevin De Bruyne, Bellingham, but I still think Trossard is better than most for match days 2 and 3, with the assumption that he's in the starting 11. Will Gundogan start? Yeah, I believe so. He's the captain of Germany. Yeah, he should do. Højbjerg or Jorginho, who to sell first? At the moment, I'm looking at selling Jorginho. Whilst there is a 0.5 million difference in price, I think Højbjerg is better for ball recoveries, and he has a better record for the national team in terms of goals and assists with 10 apiece. Hi Dylan, captain Wirtz or Gundogan? Wirtz. Keep Trossard or not? I keep him if possible, but it's all team dependent, as I just mentioned. If I find a guy smiling next to the grave meme at Arsenal Edition, I'm going to change my username to Arsenal is finished. I mean, you can do what you want, but United finished 8th. Arsenal didn't do that. What about Morata? Yeah, look, he's always pretty decent in Euro tournaments. I think he's actually got 7 goals. He's the joint third highest goal scorer of all time in this competition. But he's not someone that strikes me that will get big hauls. I think Yamal's the most exciting Spain attacker, and he's my preference. But yeah, Morata I think could be solid, fairly consistent, but he's got those days in him, like Lukaku, where he just misses absolutely everything. I think he's decent, but there are better alternatives. In matchday 2, for example, I prefer Mitrovic, Kramaric, potentially Petkovic as well. And then you've also got other options like Dovbyk and Havertz. Will Mbappé play? I don't think so. 1 week punt, Vlahovic, Mitrovic, and Patrick Schick. Mitrovic for me. They're all good options though. Schick is another one. Best German captain? I'd say Musiala or Wirtz. One of those two. Any word on possible Italy lineup? No, unfortunately, I haven't seen anything. Now, if you see something from Sky Italia, I remember in the last deadline stream, I actually showed you the predicted lineup for Italy, despite it being a day early, and it was absolutely spot on by Sky Italia. They went for that 4-2-3-1 formation. They got all of them spot on. So, yeah, I don't have that information with me, but if I see anything online, I'll definitely be sure to let you know. But I wouldn't imagine too many changes from that match against Albania. Hi Dylan, is LVD playing, do you think? So I've had issues with certain lineups when predicting them, and one of them was Switzerland and their backline. So in my first predicted lineups video, I put Cher in the 11 with LVD and Akanji with Ricardo Rodriguez further up, but then I was like, you know what, it could be Fabian Cher being benched. Even the UEFA website said the same thing. In the end though, Elvedi was the one that dropped out. So I'm honestly not so sure. I think Elvedi, maybe because it's Scotland, it's the so-called easier game, but I think the starting 11 is what you saw in matchday 1, the best team in the Swiss manager's eyes, and I think that would be Akanji, Ricardo Rodriguez, and Cher as the 3 centre-backs. Giroud or Colomouani for Mbappe? Giroud for me. What do you think about Schick to change with Mbappe? That's a good shout, as I just mentioned a few minutes ago. I do prefer Mitrovic, but yeah, I think Schick is fine. What time are you going to show your final team? When I actually decide on it, mate. That's pretty much the plan. I always kind of get too invested in the questions and comments, and then I don't leave much time to finalize my own team. But yeah, my big advice is not to copy. You saw how I did in matchday 1. You can certainly do better than what I put out. Pedri has a differential in the Limitless. I'm not against that. I do prefer Yamal, but I think Pedri's a fine option. Will Carvajal 100% start? I think he will start, but 100% I couldn't tell you. Spain have kind of changed their right backs and their full backs a lot. You look at Grimaldo, for example, who is kind of in and out of that team. You could see something similar, although not to the same extent on the right-hand side. Carvajal is first choice, but it wouldn't surprise me if he was benched against Albania in matchday 3, for example. Hi Dylan, Mbappé and Calhanoglu out to bring Havertz and Saka? Yep, I'm absolutely on board. You could consider Musiala or Wirtz instead of Saka, but I honestly really like those transfers. If it was possible for two teams to lose a game, I would choose Croatia, Albania. I can tell why you put a 2-2 draw, but I don't agree with your last statement. Will Trent start? I think so, but he's not nailed on. Yamal or Mitrovic? For matchday 2, Mitrovic for me. The Parpan says Mbappe to Kane or Ronaldo? Harry Kane. Thoughts on Kramaric or Petrovic? Petrovic or Petkovic? It's more likely that Kramaric will play on the left-hand side, whilst Petkovic is the starting striker. So if that maybe leans you towards Petkovic, I completely understand. But oddly enough, I think Kramaric would be my preference. Giroud and Akanji or Gakpo and Gvardiol? I would go for... That's a great question, by the way. I'd go for Gakpo and Gvardiol. Also Maja and or Baumgartner on the Limitless for today. Yeah, so Baumgartner I covered extensively in my Wildcard and Limitless team videos. As for Maja, I talked about him a lot today, and I really back him to be probably Croatia's best attacker from a Euro Fantasy perspective throughout this tournament. So I'm on board with both of them. If I had to pick one, though, for match days 2 and 3, I'd pick Baumgartner. For match day 2 only, maybe I'd give the edge to Maja, to be fair. So it really depends on what strategy you're going for. So welcome, Beardy. Good to see you as always. Trossard versus De Bruyne. De Bruyne still for me, but there is a 1.5 million difference in price. Is Bar nailed on? I don't think so. There is rotation between the 3 fullbacks for Denmark, Bar, Christensen and Mæhle. But I think Bar will start at least one more game in the group stages. It's very difficult to predict some rotation in certain examples, and I think Bar is one of them. Lukaku or Havertz? Probably Havertz. Yeah, Kane did play badly, I agree, but it's one match day. And he started the last tournament slowly, the last Euros one, and he ended up being one of the best players in the game in the knockouts. So, yeah, I agree with you, but we can't judge too much from one match day. Hello, Dylan. What do you reckon, Yamal or Kramaric? For match day 2, I'd go for Kramaric, simply for the fixture. Johnny Quid says, Kovacic or other Croatian midfielder good option? I'd rather go for Maja. More attacking potential. In terms of ball recoveries, I think Brozovic might be the best option. But yeah, I'd probably go for Maja. And maybe Perisic, although he'll be playing at left back, I still think he can get a goal or assist from the left-hand side. Højbjerg out for Foden, Saka or Jorginho out for Saka? If possible, yeah, I'd do Jorginho out for Saka. I think Højbjerg has the ball recoveries in him. He was so close to getting another ball recovery point to make it 4 points overall, whilst Jorginho didn't make any ball recoveries, if I'm not mistaken. I already covered the Limitless, Ellie. I covered it in the Limitless team video, the team selection, and I covered it earlier today. So just to recap, let's go to the other screen because I need to show you the wildcard. That's what I haven't done in this video. So this is kind of a rough Limitless team. It's not 100% locked in. If I were to play the Limitless, I might make a few further changes. I know Wout Faes is 4 million, but I think he's got better ball recovery potential than Castagna and the rest from Belgium. But yeah, this is the Limitless. Feel free to pause it. But let me now, it's 6 AM start, excuse me. I'm going to go to the wildcard and build a squad for those that maybe want to use that chip instead with all the update information, all the up-to-date information, should I say. So, in goal, if possible, I would go for Pickford and maybe Diogo Costa still, despite a very disappointing matchday 1 outing. Yeah, I'd keep Margayan and Mittelstadt, but the changes would happen here with the Marco and potentially Cancelo to free up funds for the attack. So, I'm going to bring in Akanji, who made 11 ball recoveries in matchday 1, but he does face Germany in matchday 3. So I'm going to bring in Akanji for that plum fixture against Scotland. And I'm going to bring in another 5 million ball recovery machine in Jules Koundé, who got 9 points in matchday 1. As for the midfielders, yeah, I think De Bruyne will have to be sacrificed. Well, actually, I could still... You know what? I'll keep him for now. Let's get rid of Højbjerg, Szoboszlai and Jorginho. Yeah, let me get rid of Mbappé too. And let's go for Kai Havertz. Florian Wirtz as well. I'm going to go for Baumgartner. This is because match days 2 and 3 are important. And yeah, to be fair, Baumgartner does play Netherlands in match day 3, which isn't easy. Let me just see if that's the same. I'm a bit OCD, so I do apologize for that. Not in... Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's not get into that. My fifth and final midfielder with this provisional team could potentially be a... I do think I'm a bit short. So what I showed you in the updated wildcard team was something like this. So let's bring in Yamal and let's bring in Saka. So you can go for something like this instead, or Musiala, in fact. Musiala. Yeah, that could actually work instead. So this is a rough wildcard draft as well. A few changes you could make, for example, include De Bruyne downgraded to Saka, and you might want to get rid of Pickford to free up that England spot. You can even go to Bellingham if you have the funds as well. You could also go to Kai Havertz from Yamal, Cristiano Ronaldo instead of Harry Kane. I like the likes of Mitrovic for matchday 2, but not so much for the final matchday in the group stages. But yeah, overall, this would be a rough wildcard draft. I don't think I'll be playing the wildcard this matchday, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, it's a pretty decent squad, all things considered. The potential is certainly there. Thoughts on Vargas? I don't think he's completely nailed on, but he's a decent option. You've also got Amdouni, and Shaqiri if he starts is my favourite, but that isn't a guarantee. That's the big question. Unai Simon, saved 3 pens in 2 games against Croatia. Yeah, I don't think he's a great goalkeeper, but he has performed against Croatia. Is Gvardiol still a pick now? Yeah, I still think so. That's a good shout. But as I mentioned during the lineup section, I still think he's a good option. Not as appealing, but still my favourite from Croatia. I already have Foden and Wirtz. Is it worth getting Bellingham or Musiala for Szoboszlai? Yes, it is worth it. I do like Szoboszlai for matchday 3 against Scotland, but not so much today against Germany. But I think what I'd do in your situation... Well, to be fair, you might be using a chip in matchday 3, won't you? So if you're set on using the Limitless or Wildcard in matchday 3, Adnan, I would go for Musiala in for Szoboszlai. They're both good options, though. I have Mittelstadt and Wirtz. Yeah, I think you could still add them. It really depends who you go for, Musiala or Havertz, because there are a few alternatives up front, and in the midfield you're more spoiled for choice. So from that perspective, I'd go for Havertz. But that's really the only big determining factor in my analysis. Dovbyk and Modric or Saka and Yamal? Definitely Saka and Yamal. Modric, one of the greatest midfielders of his generation, but Euro fantasy-wise, not really appealed by him. Yeah, Swiss players nailed for game versus Scotland. Akanji, Sommer, Xhaka. I'd also say... Yeah, I think Ricardo Rodriguez is fairly nailed on, but with that back three, Cher, Elvedi, Ricardo Rodriguez, and Akanji, I think Akanji is the only one that's kind of nailed week in, week out. Yamal or Mbappé? Probably Yamal. I think Mbappé misses the rest of the group stages. Bastoni or Theo Hernandez? Theo Hernandez. 2 difficult games for the 2 teams, but Theo Hernandez has more attacking potential, and I have to say Spain looked very impressive in matchday 1, so I want to avoid that if possible. Maja or Baumgartner? For matchday 2 only, so on the Limitless, I'd go for Maja. Anything else, whether it's free transfers or wildcard, I'd go for Baumgartner. Theo or Akanji? I'd probably go for Akanji. DeMarco plus Musiala plus Kramaric or Akanji plus Jorginho plus Havertz, says Ogusan. That's a great question. I would likely go for the first trio. Ooh, that's really difficult because I do like Akanji and Havertz, to be fair. But yeah, I'm going to go for DeMarco, Musiala and Kramaric. I'd go for Musiala's captain there, Nagib. Yeah, they're both good options though. Hola Dylan, Akanji or Gvardiol? Gvardiol para la jornada 2. Dylan, sell Mbappé to Kramaric or Kane or Schick and sell Rodri or Kalinoglu to Maja or Bellingham and... Well, that's a lot of questions. I'll try to do them very quickly. So I would go to Kane. As for the midfielder question, I'd rather sell Kalinoglu to Bellingham. And if you don't want to double up on the England attack, then go for Kane and Maja. And captain of Croatia attack or Gundogan. I'd be tempted by Maja today. Who do you think is worth a hit? I think Germany attackers like Havertz, Musiala and Wirtz. I'd also say the likes of Harry Kane are still worth it. Are you significantly more confident in Limitless Matchday 3 over 2? It's close, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not confident either way. Maybe my confidence is dented by a poor start, but to be honest, I just think there's a lot to learn still with these countries and teams and players, so that's why. It's not my final team, Ben, and regardless of what you do, my main advice is not to copy because, as you saw, I did very poorly on Matchday 1, and you can do better by going for your own picks. No, I won't be taking hits. It'll either be the Limitless or 2 free transfers. I don't want to take hits. I wouldn't recommend them in this format. Only 7 match days, and you do get unlimited transfers in Matchday 4. Yeah, Sesko could be a shout. He had a great shot in the opener against Denmark, but I don't think he's... Look, this tournament has been, you know, full of surprises Euro fantasy-wise, so that's not a bad shout. No, I'm not playing the wild card. It's either the Limitless or 2 free transfers. I'm not going to play the wild card. And that answers that question too. Szczesny or Livakovic? Livakovic for me. CR7 versus Schick. I'd probably go for CR7 still. Can I get Bellingham / Reese plus Gvardiol, Sutalov for Bruno and Van Dijk? Well, you can, but I wouldn't sell Bruno Fernandes, to be honest. He was quite unlucky not to get an assist. What's your captaincy points? I ended up captaining Bruno in the final day. My best captain was Mbappé, who got booked towards the end of the game for time wasting. So I ended up changing it to Bruno. It's been a disaster from the beginning. If I went for Wirtz, which I was very close to doing and I should have done, that's my big regret from Matchday 1, I would have captained him and kept him as captain. So that's the regret I have. Hey Dylan, please help. And what are your thoughts on Thuram? With Thuram, look, I think he's a decent player, but I think he makes a bigger impact off the bench rather than as a starter. Yeah, 51 points is fairly decent, I'd say. I mean, look, ultimately, it's only the beginning, but yeah, I would have been happy with over 50 the way things went for me. Turkey versus Georgia was the best game of the Euro so far. Yeah, certainly up there. I completely agree with you. I was pleasantly surprised, but I was actually tempted to say 3-2 Turkey. In the end, I went for a 2-1 prediction to Turkey, and yeah, it had everything. Hi, Dylan. Should I sell Jorginho for a -4 to bring Madja? That's not a bad shout, to be fair. Yeah, I think that's something you could consider, but I'll be honest, hits in this game are rarely worth it with only 7 match days, so I probably wouldn't. I'd definitely consider it and I'd be tempted, but I think I ultimately wouldn't. Yeah, Dubravka had a great game, to be fair. I wish he did that in FPL more often when I had him. Yeah, look, he might be a decent option. You've also got the Serbian goalkeeper who could be a good option on match day 2. You've got a few potential 4 million gems here for at least 1 match day. But yeah, Dubravka, I could think of worse goalkeepers. Juranovic or Gvardiol? Gvardiol for me. I think I went for Juranovic in the World Cup over Gvardiol in the 3rd place playoff, and Gvardiol scored. So yeah, I'm a bit worried about Gvardiol in general. It's because Perisic will likely play at left back, and he just came back from a long-term injury. Havertz or Musiala captain for today? I'd probably go for Musiala, but very close. Havertz has a better record for the German national team, though. I think it's now 16 goals, 14 assists, if I'm not mistaken. If not, it's 17 goals. Whilst Musiala has 2 goals, 5 assists, or 3 goals, 5 assists. So there's a big difference there. But the midfielder advantage is certainly there. Seaworld or Abisher? I'd probably go for Abisher there. Seaworld is more of a defensive midfielder making ball recoveries. I think I've definitely pronounced the name wrong, but I think Abisher has more attacking potential, as he showed in Matchday 1. De Bruyne or Kvaratskhelia? De Bruyne. What's your thoughts on Patrick Schick? Well, he was the top scorer in the Euros alongside Ronaldo in the last tournament. But for Matchday 2, I think it's close, to be fair. It is quite a close call, but Czech Republic were very poor on the ball yesterday against Portugal, to be fair, but they really didn't impress me going forward. And to be fair, Ukraine obviously got demolished by Romania, but I'd probably go for Dovbyk, just about. All right, I'm going to focus on my team for a little bit now, and I'll go back to a question soon. Thank you. What a name. Can we get a Wenger impression, Dylan? I actually have a friend who does a very good Wenger impression. I can do some impressions, but Wenger's not, I didn't say is a good one for me. But I do love the man, of course. One of the best managers in Premier League history. But let me know, by the way, if the stream is lagging now. It might have been a YouTube issue. Okay, yeah, now it says excellent connection, so I don't think that's the case. We do have over 600 people watching, so thank you to those that have tuned in. And those that like the video, send in super chats, those that signed up as patrons or channel members, be sure to smash the like button if you haven't already, and check all the links in the description below. It'd be greatly appreciated, including my Spotify. Leaving a 5-star review there if you enjoyed the content goes a long way to supporting the channel. But yeah, let's go into my team. I'm going to make transfers now, just in case. And if I decide to use the Limitless, I can then just finalize that very soon. But I have to say, I'm very likely to go for Havertz and Musiala for Mbappé and Jorginho. I think that's where my head's at the moment. I want to learn more about a lot of these teams. And I still think this is a good squad. Of course, there's a few mistakes I made. I'm the first one to, hold my hands up. I think Szoboszlai over Wirtz was a mistake. Only a 5-point loss, but then when you consider the captaincy as well, it has cost me quite dearly. In the end, it would have been, a 12-point difference with the captaincy involved. But yeah, look, I'm going to go, for Musiala and Havertz, although Wirtz, the cover boy of this stream, is also in contention. I think I might put a poll for that. But yeah, I've already put a few on my channel. And yeah, maybe I'll go back to it now and see what you lot are saying. So let's go through this poll again. What's your chip strategy for Matchday 2? And over 50% of those that voted are going for free transfers. 32% are going for the Limitless, and only 16% are wildcarding in Matchday 2. As for this poll, which is in relation to my transfer plans, the top option is Højbjerg or Jorginho to Musiala. In second is Szoboszlai to Bellingham. In third is Højbjerg or Jorginho to Wirtz. And in last place is Højbjerg or Jorginho to Saka. So it does seem like a lot of you prefer Musiala over Wirtz, and maybe that is the play. But I have to say it's very close between those two. And they don't have the best of records for the national team, but they both delivered monster hauls in Matchday 1. So those are the polls. In terms of predictions, I've gone for 2-0 Croatia. And yeah, Kramaric is still starting. I might stick with him as the first goal scorer. Croatia first to score, of course. And Germany, I have gone for a 3-1 now, with Kai Havertz to score first. And I've gone for 2-1 Switzerland with Shaqiri to score first. But I will change that if he's not in the starting 11. Maybe I'll do these as well on screen, and then afterwards I'll probably change them once the lineups are out for each individual game. So I'll go for Serbia to score first, but I have to say... Wait, what? Oh, it's first player to score. Okay, yeah, I'm bugged out there. I'm going to go for Mitrovic. Yeah, kind of boring template pick, but there you go. I've gone for 1-0 England against Denmark, and maybe this will be the high scoring game now. First player to score, let's go for Foden for now, but I'll probably change that. He did play quite poorly in the opener. Yeah, this one I'm going to go for 2-1 Spain now. I made these predictions before the tournament began. So yeah, I'm going to go for 2-1 Spain. First player to score. I did get it right with Morata last time, and it might be him again. He tends to score quite early for the Spanish national team, but I'm going to go for a bit of a different pick here, I think. Yeah, I'm going to go for either Yamal or Nico Williams. Probably Yamal for now, who is more of an assister than goal scorer at the moment, but still. Dovbyk to score first. I'm going to kind of, yeah, stick with that. 2-1 Ukraine for now. 2-1 Poland. I think I'm going to go for 1-1 right now. And I might even lean towards an Austria win. So I think Austria to score first. I'm going to go for Baumgartner to score the first goal of the game. And as for France, Netherlands, yeah, I think 2-1's fair. I'm going to go for Giroud to score first if he starts. 2-0 Czech Republic against Georgia. Yeah, and I'm going to go for Patrick Schick to score first. Yeah, I'm going to change the Belgium one a little bit. And I might even go to a 2-1 or a draw. Who knows at this point. First player to score, I think Kevin De Bruyne or Lukaku. Let's go for Kevin De Bruyne. And Portugal versus Turkey, 2-0. I'll probably stick with that. And first player to score, I'd say probably Cristiano Ronaldo, but I'll change that. I'll probably change that, I think, in the end. So yeah, those are my predictions for Matchday 2. They're not locked in, but yeah, just to give you an idea of what I'm looking at, and you can feel free to put your predictions in the live chat as well. But I'm going to lock in my team now. As I mentioned a few times before, the site crashed quite early in the Matchday 1 deadline stream. So try to lock in your transfers, have your phone or tablet ready and the app just in case the website does crash. But yeah, I'd say lock in your team as soon as possible. I know it might be difficult for some of you at work. I also just came back from work, but yeah, try to lock in your teams now and get everything done. And I'm going to do that right now. Don't copy if you can, but of course I can't stop everyone. I think I'm going to go for Kai Havertz and Musiala. Let me know what you think in the live chat. I'm going to go back into your questions. Smash the like button. Let's get this over 200 likes. It'd be massively appreciated. And hopefully we can get to 10,000 views overall, which we did for the first stream. Yeah, no, Jose Mourinho, no. Maybe when my face isn't shown on screen, I'll probably do like Scooby-Doo and stuff. Yeah, I got some weird impressions, but not that. I think today is Kramarich's birthday, just saying. Yeah, look, birthday tax can be real, but I captained Watkins over Salah in FPL. What was it, on the 1st of January? Well, on that case, it was the 31st of December. Watkins got 2 assists, I got 8 points, and then Salah the next day gets 16 points, and I lose out on 8 points from that late captaincy switch. So, yeah, it can go for you and against you. It's not looking good, bruv. What's the advantage of keeping the wild card? Well, the advantage, I covered them towards the beginning of the stream. You are able to go for more punts in the round of 16 and get things wrong. You have that wild card as a safety net and an insurance policy. And if you have a lot of eliminated players, the wild card bails you out from that scenario. Hi Dylan, Havertz, Saka or Musiala, Yamal? I'd probably go for Havertz and Saka, but that's very close. Very close, I have to say. What game will have more goals, Croatia versus Albania or England versus Denmark? Well, I've gone for the Croatia game to be 2-0 to Croatia and 1-0 England, so that answers that. Big crash incoming, hopefully not. Finish work 1 PM on a Wednesday, fair play. Well, actually, I technically finished at like 12 or something, and I rushed back home to get things done. I did kind of ask for an early day, but let's not get into details. Mbappé to Havertz and Jorginho to Wirtz, or Mbappé to Kane and Saka to Wirtz, which is better? I would go for... I think they're all good transfers, to be honest, but I'd rather sell Mbappé and Jorginho to Wirtz and Kane and keep Saka. Yeah. Thank you, Paredes. Good to see you here once again. Nuno, when are you going to put the final team? When I decide, which is what I always do. Limitless draft, I covered it earlier, and I'll show you again very soon. There is a chance I'm using the Limitless, but at the moment, I don't think so. I think I'll use 2 free transfers. I'm quite happy with my team overall. Why not both Musiala and Wirtz instead of Havertz? Because it's Mbappé I'm replacing up front. And, well, basically, Mbappé to Havertz gives me the money to buy Musiala for Jorginho. If I don't make that transfer, I'd have to sell De Bruyne and Bruno Fernandes to get Wirtz and Musiala. It's not worth it, I think. So in my case, my team situation, it's best to buy Havertz for Mbappé to give me the funds to buy one of Wirtz or Musiala. And at the moment, I'm going for Jamal Musiala. But let's wait and see. I'm going to lock in these transfers fairly soon, I think. And then if I decide to play the Limitless, I'll be going through that very soon. Great work as usual on the stream, Dylan. Thank you, John Paul. Ronaldo and Gvardiol for Mbappe and De Kuiper. And do you think Trent also needs to be transferred out? Not necessarily, but Trent isn't nailed on. And I've always said this. Beyond Matchday 1, I can't guarantee you if he starts against Denmark and Slovenia. So I think for now I'd keep Trent and just focus on selling Mbappe and De Kuiper. And the 2 transfers you said are absolutely fine. Kramaric or CR7? I'd go for CR7. Modric or Kvaratskhelia? I'd go for Kvaratskhelia. I prefer to hold on to Limitless because price rises and big teams cost a lot, and a team of good players always stumps also Rans. This is the problem though. The price changes start to happen after the Matchday free deadline passes, right? So yeah, with the wildcard, for example, I'm kind of thinking about it. Yeah, that is a good point you're making there. But with the Limitless, it honestly doesn't matter because you have unlimited budget anyway. But yeah, I think at the moment I'm more likely to use it in Matchday free. I'm gonna put a quick poll in the live chat now, and yeah, let's put this. It's about Musiala and Saka, I think, and probably Wirtz as well. So pick one midfielder. Let's see what you lot say. So I'm gonna put Musiala, Wirtz, and Saka. Anything else? Any other option? Maybe Baumgartner? Maybe Baumgartner or Maja? Yeah, okay. So pick one midfielder. And if you want to see any other polls, then let me know. And I can go through that very soon. Lewandowski will miss match day. Well, actually, no, sorry. He missed match day 1 because of the injury. He could be back now in match day 2. That's not a bad shout whatsoever. There isn't a guarantee he starts, but yeah, I think that's decent. Theo Hernandez or Rudiger? I'd go for Rudiger this match day. What German player should I captain? I don't know who you have, but I think I'd rank it. Well, it's Musiala, Wirtz, and Havertz for me are the top 3. Ranking them is quite tough, and that's why I put the poll out, because, yeah, I think Musiala or Wirtz is still a very tricky call. Do a Stevie G impression, Dylan. Yeah, no, you got people for that already, don't you? Maybe after, when my face isn't shown. Limitless active Dylan, I must. Yeah, look, if you feel you have to, that's absolutely fair enough, and maybe I'm making the wrong call not playing the Limitless now, which I tend to do. If I look back at UCL Fantasy, World Cup Fantasy, and previous Euro tournaments, I think I typically use the Limitless in match day 2, but yeah, we'll wait and see. Hey Dylan, on a Limitless, Ronaldo / Ta or Havertz and Koundé? I think I'd go for Havertz and Koundé. Xhaka or Vitinha? Actually, sorry. Abdullah, I have to say, I'm going to change my mind and go for Ronaldo and Jonathan Ta. Xhaka or Vitinha? I think Vitinha has slightly more attacking potential. He's also on corners, but I'm going to go for Xhaka. Griezmann or Gakpo or Kramaric? Kramaric. My Limitless is active, Dylan. Modric or KDB or another option? I know I now have England spots left. Oh, you don't have England spots left. I'd go for KDB over Modric, in my opinion. But other midfielders would include Maja from Croatia. Maybe Milinkovic-Savic. I think there are some options in there. Baumgartner, Sudakov. But I'd go for KDB. Depay, Mitrovic or Sesko? Says Tule. I'd go for Mitrovic in match day 2. Gvardiol or Akanji? Gvardiol, but it's close. Very, very close. Who's today's captain? Well, at the moment I'm going for Mittelstadt, but after my transfers are made, I think I'm going to go for Kai Havertz. Still believe in Portugal? They were, I wouldn't say they were poor, but they did leave it late yesterday. And Czech Republic, I think, did shoot themselves in the foot towards the end of that game. They could have secured a draw at the very least. But look, Portugal for me are still one of the favourites. Look, there are many examples of teams struggling in match day 1, then winning the tournament. Spain in 2010 World Cup, Argentina just 2 years ago. So I'm not too concerned. But yeah, I'm going to make my transfers now. I think I'm going to buy Musiala and Havertz, but I have to say Wirtz is still, you know, he's one of my regrets from match day 1. Can someone tell me if subs earn points? No. So once you make substitutions, those on your bench won't score points for your team. Only those in your starting 11. So if you have any other questions, be sure to let me know. I wonder if I'd risk with Lukaku again. Yeah, no, that's a fair question to make. On the Limitless or Wildcard, I'd be tempted to maybe discard him. But with free transfers, I have bigger fish to fry and bigger issues with my team. Tommy Raw 987 says, hey Dylan, would you go CR7 Gvardiol from Mbappé DeMarco or Havertz, Saka, or any mid with 8.5 million less for Mbappé and Jorginho? I have to say, that's a very close call, but I'm going to go for the... Yeah, I think I'm going to go for the attacking options. So I keep DeMarco and sell Jorginho instead. Dubravka the fraud delivering for Slovakia, but not for me on FPL. Yeah, I think there's a few instances where he did okay, like Fulham away, but it's few and far between. And to be fair, he's 4 million goalkeeper in FPL. Opinion on Lukaku. He has a great record for Belgium, but at the World Cup, he missed some huge chances, particularly against Croatia. He had a similar sort of game in the Open against Slovakia. But yeah, I still think he can do well match days 2 and 3, but my confidence is dented. Sell who? Trossard, Shaqiri, Szoboszlai, Højbjerg for Musiala, Wirtz or any mid? I like Szoboszlai for match day 3, but not this match day. So if you are using the Limitless, I definitely recommend selling Szoboszlai. Sorry. As for Shaqiri, The thing is, if he starts, I think he's a great option. Probably the best from Switzerland, but he's not nailed on, and that is a big risk. So I think I'd sell Shaqiri. I think that's probably your best bet. Keep or sell De Kuyper. There could be changes in that Belgium lineup, and De Kuyper was expected to start at left back, but we saw Carrasco instead. I think I'd sell him. Limitless, Kane or Havertz? Havertz. All right, I'm going to start locking in my team. Go for Limitless, Dylan. We're doing Champions League Fantasy, and we knew earlier chip usage works. Yeah, look, I might still use it, but it's just, I have to say, using the 2 free transfers, I am quite happy with how my team looks like overall. So what you see on screen, for example, I think Verbruggen against France doesn't look great. DeMarco against Spain, fair enough. But I think the rest of my defensive line looks fairly decent, and it can compete with a lot of Limitless and Wildcard teams. As for my midfield, maybe Højbjerg isn't great and Szoboszlai, but buying Musiala and Havertz does reinforce this squad quite a lot, and I'm very happy with it, actually. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go for this. It's just I'm kind of deliberating Wirtz or Musiala as my final transfer. I'm quite settled on Havertz, not so much on the others. Yeah, it's kind of a tricky one, but I think I'm going to go for Musiala. Yeah, bit more nailed on than Wirtz, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm going to go for Musiala and Havertz. Let's see, what could possibly go wrong? Mbappé and Jorginho out, Havertz, Musiala in. I hope Jorginho doesn't get a penalty now. But yeah, these are my transfers. I'm also going to captain, one of Kai Havertz and Musiala. Oof, tricky decisions to be made. Tricky decisions indeed. I'm going to go for Havertz for now, but that isn't locked in. Just to be very clear, I don't want to sell dreams or anything. Be sure to lock in your teams and all of that. We have covered a lot of questions already. Musiala also has won this poll with almost half of the votes. Wirtz in second, though, with 37%. Very close between those two. Then you have Baumgartner or Maja in third and Saka in last. I think Saka needs a bit more respect, but fair enough. The other options are quite good. Rudiger or Mittelstadt? On the Limitless, I'd go for Rudiger, but overall, in terms of value, I think Mittelstadt is better. Is there any chance for Shaqiri? Yes, there is a chance, but I think it's a big risk. Mikaltse, says Werner. Yeah, look, he played very well yesterday, and he's someone I highlighted from Georgia. Him and Kasia were the standout players, apart from the obvious Kvaratskhelia, who we all know. But I think that's a decent shout, but I'm not going to go for him over Havertz or Mitrovic and all these options that I was considering. Bellingham or Saka? Saka is better for the England national team, generally speaking, but based on Matchday 1 so far, I have to say Bellingham was the standout player. I'd probably go for him, but very close. Yeah, once again, very close there in Sparring Channel. I'd lean towards Bellingham on a Limitless right now. Wirtz or Havertz? I'd say Havertz. Trossard will be benched or play. There is a possibility of a benching, but I think he starts. Tell me your best 4 million defender. I think Wout Fass is my favourite. Yeah, Wout Fass or Mittelstadt, and yeah, I'll probably go for Mittelstadt first, Wout Fass second. Modric an option on Limitless? Yes, but I think Maja is even better. Why Højbjerg over Jorginho? Ball recoveries. So if we look at Højbjerg in Matchday 1, he made 5 ball recoveries. One more ball recovery would have seen a 4-point haul from him overall, or 4-point return, should I say. As for Jorginho, he didn't make a single ball recovery. He's also got a tougher game, in my opinion, in Spain. I know Højbjerg's facing England, so that's definitely up for debate. But yeah, I just think Højbjerg has a better goal-scoring record for his country, with 10 goals and 10 assists for Denmark, whilst Jorginho is heavily reliant on penalties. But if Italy do get one and Jorginho steps up, I'm going to be crying. That's for sure. Modric and Kramaric or Wirtz and Havertz? I'd go for the 2 Germans. My competitors have a 30-point advantage and I'm pushing to Limitless. That's fair enough, but it's only Matchday 1. I think you can still claw up the deficit in the next few match days. Why is your team different to what you've shown originally? I made 2 free transfers, that's why. I made 2 moves. I bought in Havertz and Musiala, and I've been clear about it from the very beginning. I might also show you, well, I might play the Limitless, and we can go into that again. But to be fair, a few people have asked, so let's go to this. So this is the Limitless screen, let's call it that. And I would go for something like this on the chip, but I have to say, at the moment, I think I'm just going to stick with what I have, which is the 2 free transfers. Possibly FPL Manic. I might decide to play the Limitless later on. Honestly, I haven't had too much time to think about it today. And I always said, in my team selection included, that the plan was to decide after all the Matchday 1 games have concluded. And right now, I'm leaning towards the 2 free transfers, whilst yesterday, before the final games, I was kind of more looking to use the Limitless, actually. So I'm 50-50 on it. Yeah, look, Limitless in this match day is absolutely fine. I definitely use it in the group stages, so either match day 2 or 3. If I don't use it now, I'll almost certainly use it in match day 3. Do you think Slovakia will keep a clean sheet? No, they can, but I don't think they will. Captain Musiala or Havertz? I'm going for Havertz right now. Bellingham or Foden? Bellingham. Hi, Dylan, which one to captain? From those 3, probably Havertz. Play Lunin or Verbruggen? They play on the same day. Lunin. Will Grimaldo play? Not a guarantee. I think he starts 1 game in the group stages, but he's not first choice, it looks like. Who would you captain between Havertz, Gundogan or Mittelstadt? Definitely Havertz for me. Griezmann or Kane? I'd go for Harry Kane. ¿Seguís recomendando poner belgas después de esa primera fecha que perdieron sorpresamente? Well, I can't even speak English or Spanish right now. Sí, creo que sí. Mira, mi confianza en las belgas está más bajo ahora, pero creo que 1 o 2 jugadores de Bélgica está bien. Kevin De Bruyne, Lukaku y Wout Faes, que por 4 millones recupera el balón muchas veces y para mí está muy bien Wout Faes. Creo que sí, hizo 5 puntos en la jornada 1, así que me gusta Wout Faes todavía. Pero sí, 1 o 2 jugadores de Bélgica está bien. 3 quizás es mucho, pero mucho puede cambiar y es solo un partido. Kramaric or Kane? Kane. Pekovic captain? Why not? You've got other opportunities later on anyway, so it's fine. Dylan, you have no captain for day 3, maybe Baumgartner? That is true, that is true. That is a good point. To be fair, though, even with 5 shots at the captaincy, I did get that wrong. But we do have 15 minutes left. I will decide very soon. Let's see. So let's go back to this team now. And I just want to make it clear. So if I end up just using these 2 free transfers and not doing anything else, my plan would be, well, I'd have Verbruggen as a captain on the 21st, which is, ugh, that is disgusting. Brother, ugh, that stupid meme. I don't want to reenact that. So yeah, on the 19th, I'd probably captain Havertz or Musiala. On the 20th, it'd be Harry Kane. On the 21st, Verbruggen is my only option. And on the 22nd, I've got a few choices there. But I'd likely go for either Bruno Fernandes or Kevin De Bruyne. That isn't set in stone, though. So I do have captaincy options on each day, although Verbruggen doesn't really count as one against France. But yeah, I'm quite happy with this team overall. I have to say that. It's a pretty decent team, all things considered. Not great, of course, and that's why I got 44 points. I showed my Limitless team earlier, and also the wildcard, and also the predictions, but I might go through them very soon. Limitless means no budget, right? Yeah, no budget restrictions whatsoever. You still have to adhere to the rules of formations and stuff, and substitutions and captaincy, but you basically build a team for 1 match day with no budget restrictions. Thank you, BG31. Mi inglés es mucho mejor que mi español, pero igualmente estoy tan cansado que hablo tantas tonterías en español y en inglés. Yamal or Griezmann? I would go for Yamal. Havertz or Wirtz captain? I'm going for Havertz right now. I think that's probably the play. Do you think Bellingham is an essential pick on the Limitless? Not essential, but he's right up there, yeah. Who to bring in for Mbappé? Have no German or England left. I'd still consider Lukaku, Ronaldo, even Giroud as a like for like. For matchday 2 only, though, I do like Mitrovic, Dovbyk, and possibly the likes of Kramaric and Schick. Captain Germany, or I'd go for a German mid, basically, yeah. I actually didn't know what the other one was. But yeah, German mid is my preference for today. -4 Mudryk for Maja. Not so sure about that. I think Mudryk was actually Ukraine's best player the other day. Livakovic or Sommer? Livakovic. Close though. DeMarco or Koundé to Cancelo, or both, but for -4 points and with 5 million. I'd rather sell DeMarco. Yeah, I wouldn't take a -4 hit. Kramaric or Modric for my Limitless team? Kramaric. Griezmann or Kane? Don't own any attackers from either team. I covered your question, Cylindra. I said Kane. English or Spanish lads? Yeah. Griezmann or Kane? Yep, I just covered it. Fes or Koundé with Limitless at the back? I think Fas has a better chance of a clean sheet, and he's a ball recovery machine, so I'd go for Wout Fas. Yeah, Gavardio is playing centre-back, but I still like him, just not as much as before. Creía que únicamente hablabas inglés y yo te veía en este idioma, pero hablas realmente bien español. Enhorabuena. Gracias. Hablo español en casa todos los días, pero no parece así porque mi español es medio flojo. Pero gracias. Lunin or Verbruggen? I would go for Lunin. Worth to keep Foden? Yeah, I'd say so, but I think Bellingham and Saka are better. Yeah, so look, just to be very clear, there is a chance, a small one, that I do play the Limitless now, but if I don't, I'll play it in Matchday 3, and the wildcard would then be saved for Matchday 5. Petkovic or Schick? I would go for Petkovic. Yeah, I think so. Very close, though. I'm kind of in two minds about it, to be fair. Kramaric or Wirtz? Wirtz for me. Best midfield for 10 million. To be fair, you can afford any midfielder. I'd say Bellingham at the moment. Bellingham, De Bruyne, and Bruno Fernandes would be my top three still. But of course, they are the three most expensive players in the game. Worth keeping Sudakov? I think so. Kramaric or Havertz? I'd go for Havertz. Mbappé 4, I have CR7 and Lukaku 10 million budget. Yeah, you can't go for Kane. I'd say Kai Havertz, mate. If you've got a German spot, I think that's a good opportunity for you. Hola, soy Winda Basadura. ¿Qué opinaste, Neuer? Sí, para mí está bien para el Limitless, pero para la jornada 2 y 3 creo que Mittelstar ofrece mucho mejor valor que Neuer. Captain Wirtz or Musiala? I've gone for Musiala myself, so that'll be my pick. Limitless, Wirtz, Musiala, or Musiala, Havertz? I'd say Musiala, Havertz, but they're all good. Szoboszlai or Kravadona to Wirtz or Depay to Kramaric? Only one transfer left. I would... It's difficult because I like Szoboszlai for Matchday 3, but I'd probably go for... You know what? I'd say Szoboszlai to Wirtz and then bring Szoboszlai back potentially for Matchday 3. Or you just use your chip and that's fine. I think that's what I do. Gavardio on wildcard. I like him for the Limitless, not so much on the wildcard. Hi Dylan, should I have Trossard, Havertz to Musiala, Yamal, Trossard, Diaz to Bellingham, Trent? Yeah, in terms of your other question, was it Musiala, Yamal, or Trossard, Diaz to Bellingham, Trent? Okay, I get it. I prefer the first set of transfers, I think, because I'm not sure if Trent is nailed on for match days 2 and 3. Kramaric or Griezmann? Kramaric for this match day. Maja, Ronaldo, or Bruno Kramaric? Great question. I would probably go for Maja and Ronaldo, but we're talking about 50-50 course here. Look, Griezmann did play in a midfield role, just like in the World Cup. Great player for France, but I don't think he's as important to the goal scoring as he maybe was before. But then maybe with Mbappé being absent, you could see Griezmann moved into a more advanced role just behind Giroud. And Griezmann is France's best player at Euro tournaments. He's one of the all-time record goal scorers. So he's fine. I just think there are better options. Havertz or Griezmann? I'd go for Havertz. Yeah, I think Juranovic is a decent punt, but I think Gavardio is still my favourite because of ball recoveries. At the moment, I'm using no chip. If I were to use one, it'd be the Limitless. Who do I captain? I covered. I'd go for Havertz, but it's completely up to you. Gundogan puede ser buen diferencial como capitán. Gracias. Sí, creo que sí, pero prefiero a Wirtz, Musiala y Kai Havertz. Havertz or Griezmann? Yep, covered. Foden to Bellingham, but -4. Nope, not for me. Yamal, De Bruyne, Akanji for -4. Depends who you sell. And I'm not a big fan of hits in this format, but good transfers, I have to say. Very good transfers. Walker or Trippier? Walker, I think, is a bit more nailed on. Zinchenko? I'd rather go for cheaper options. I mean, he's a midfielder in this game, isn't he? But yeah, I think you can find better value elsewhere. I even prefer Sudakov for $1 million more. Choose 2 out of 3. It'd be Musiala and Wirtz. Pretty simple. Any good captaincy for Friday's matches? I've only got Verbruggen with my team. which isn't a good captaincy option, really. So, yeah. I have to say, let me now go back to the Limitless and see if I can convince myself of using it. No, this is the wildcard team, so this is the Limitless. It's something like this, and then what, Havertz up front. Let me refresh this page just in case, maybe. No, I don't think it's necessary. So Havertz, Musiala, Neuer, Diego Costa, Trent, Akanji, Gvardiol, Cancelo, Wout Fass. Might even go for Koundé as well. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. There's just a few picks on the Limitless I'm a bit unsure about. And I think I'd have a better understanding and idea of my Limitless and Matchday 3. But having said that, there's also going to be more rotation, which could definitely backfire. But yeah, overall, look, it's not a perfect team. There are some issues. I think my biggest weakness is the 21st of June captaincy. But still, it's better than nothing, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. I just can't convince myself, I think, to play this chip. Any other midfielder I'd probably consider on the Limitless? Yeah, Lukaku, Kane, Havertz looks pretty fine up front. Maybe... Let's actually think of Mitrovic. And then going for an England midfielder, another one, like Saka. But yeah. There will be some cheap options that do very well this week, of course. But on the Limitless, you're always tempted to go for the most expensive and, you know, the most consistent in terms of goal contributions, the big hitters, so to speak. But yeah, look, someone mentioned Zinchenko earlier. He did get 5 points in Matchday 1. That's not a bad shout, to be fair. Not a bad shout. I could definitely think of worse. He's better than what I have at that price point in Højbjerg and Jorginho. But I have to say, from my personal view, I was kind of 50-50 throughout the week. And I think ultimately what I'm looking to do is just use 2 free transfers and use the Limitless in Matchday 3. I think that will be my plan. I'll try to find another midfielder now for you. Maybe Baumgartner would be the one. Milinkovic-Savic also enters the equation. Yeah, something like that would be my Limitless squad. Yeah, if not Musiala and Wirtz, and then up front you go for Mitrovic instead of Havertz, maybe, as well. We'll go for that for now. We'll go for Musiala up in the midfield. And Wirtz, yes. Okay, now that'd be a fairly decent Limitless team. You also have Kramaric, who was in my previous Limitless squad that I showed you. But now we have less than 5 minutes left. Hopefully the site isn't crashing. Let me know if it is. But I have made my transfers already. I'm captaining Havertz right now, but that's my last 50-50 call. Musiala or Havertz captain for the first day. And you know what? I'm going to include other German players in this as well. Which German player will you captain today? Which German player will you captain? So yeah, by the way, thank you, Haribo. Massively appreciated. Would you switch Wirtz to Maja on Limitless? No, yeah, that's a great shout. Maja was actually considered a lot in all my Limitless drafts that I've built throughout the week. Yeah, I'd definitely consider it. And if you go for Havertz up front, I'd definitely go for Maja and balance the attack a little bit. So you can go for Musiala, Havertz and Maja all at the same time. I'm not against that whatsoever. But in isolation, I do prefer Florian Wirtz. So let's get these up. Let me know if that answered your question, Haribo. Hopefully it did. Wirtz. Put Havertz as well. And we'll put the other option, I think, just to make it a bit more interesting. Okay, so last poll. I've literally got less than 3 minutes left. Be sure to lock in your teams, smash the like button of this video, and subscribe to the channel for more Euro Fantasy, UCL Fantasy, FPL, and World Cup content. So I'm going to whiz through your questions now. I think I'm just going to leave it. Maybe I'll regret not using the Limitless, but whatever. I do think it's a fairly decent team. One last thing to note before I go back into your questions. Make sure that those in your starting 11 You know, all the players from today's matches are in your starting 11. And as you can see, all of those players on my bench are on the 22nd of June. They're all Portuguese or Belgian players, and I can bring them on for my lowest scoring players throughout the match day. And you can change the captaincy after today's games are done and before tomorrow's matches start. So make sure to lock in your team before the subs deadline, which you can always see on the Euro Fantasy website and app. So let's see what else we have in the live chat. Lock it in. Yeah, Gary, I think I'm fairly locked in. I made my transfers quite early, relatively speaking. Holding Wirtz captain last match day paid off. Yeah, my regret is not going for Wirtz because I would have captained him and stuck with him. So I can see what you're saying. Musiala may have more minutes of play than Havertz, but I also went for Havertz as captain. It's very close though, I think. There's not much to separate all of them, but Havertz has the best record for the national team. Sorry. Predictions. Yeah, I have covered them already, but we'll go through them again. So for the first game, let me just get this up. I've gone for 2-0 Croatia against Albania with, I think I'm going to go for Kramaric to score first. Germany-Hungary 3-1 for the host nation with Havertz to score first. And 2-1 to Switzerland. But I'll probably change these predictions to be fair. I've already changed them from before. I've gone for 3-1 Serbia against Slovenia, although that might change. 1-0 England against Denmark. Spain 2, Italy 1. Slovakia 1, Ukraine 2. Poland 1, Austria 1. Netherlands 1, France 2. Georgia 0, Czech Republic 2. Turkey 0, Portugal 2. And then Belgium 2, Romania 0. I still think they'll bounce back after a very disappointing start. The only top-ranked nation to lose in matchday 1, unless I'm having a brain fart, which does happen a lot when I wake up at this time. But back to my team. I've covered my predictions already, which will be subject to change. Yeah, I think Kai Havertz will be my captain for matchday 2. I don't think I've owned him all year, basically. Even at FPL with Arsenal, my local team, I haven't captained Havertz at all. Not had him once. So let's see if he can score again against Hungary. And then we've got Musiala. It was a very close score, I think, between those two and also buying Wirtz or Musiala. And I was close to playing the Limitless as well. But in the end, I decided to make 2 free transfers. And I got rid of Jorginho and Mbappé for Kai Havertz and Musiala. Good luck in matchday 2. We are locked in now. So yeah, once again, I do appreciate those that were patient from the very beginning. I did basically get home, rush things, and get everything set up, change the graphics, everything. So I could go live as early as possible. And yeah, I think from now on, it should be just 2-hour streams basically every single time, if not more. Also, big shout out to those that sent in super chats, that smashed the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also to those that voted in the poll. I'll wait to get to 200 votes and then I'm going to end it. But Musiala was the winner with 36%, Havertz in second with 32%, Wirtz in third with 24%, and the other option only had 8% of the votes. Boy Maja captain and Vlahovic. Hope it goes well, Dylan. Likewise, I think they're good options. Wildcarding would mean I would have a more attacking German triple up. However, the rest of the squad isn't exciting. Hold it is. Yeah, I think there's just kind of a, maybe not a big swing, but there is definitely a difference in matchday 2 and 3 quality of fixtures for certain teams. And yeah, I think I'm just of the opinion of waiting a little bit more to understand more about the game, and I'll be saving the wild card for matchday 5, which I didn't do in the previous Euro tournament or World Cup Fantasy, and also in the Champions League. Booster on my beloved Turkey. Oh, Dylan. Yeah. Well, it's for Portugal, right? That was made before the matches even began. I might change it, to be honest. I was actually looking at playing it now on the Croatia-Albania game. But yeah, I ended up not doing that because Albania could sneak a goal, and it wouldn't surprise me if they got a result. Yeah, game over, says Fermi. Good emoji there. What is the best defender for the France-Netherlands game? Jules Koundé, ball recoveries. Jorginho or Szoboszlai out? I'd rather get rid of Jorginho if possible, and that's what I've done. Havertz out for Mitrovic. Add Musiala and keep Neuer for the third match day with the Limitless. Yeah, I think that's fine, but honestly, keeping Havertz and not going for Mitrovic, which means no Musiala, is also fine, and you don't necessarily need Neuer anyway, so I think all of those options are good, but ultimately, I think I would have gone for a Wirtz and Musiala double up in the attack. Good luck to you as well, Matic. I moved Havertz with Limitless to open up the other German slots. Yeah, that's understandable. I was also looking at something similar if I were to play the chip. I play my Limitless with seconds left and Captain Kramrich. Well, if it doesn't work out, you've got other options in the other 3 days within Matchday 2. It's not a big deal. If by Matchday 3 neither Limitless or Wildcard have been used, when would you use both? I will use the Limitless in Matchday 3. I'm almost certain of that. The Wildcard will likely be used in Matchday 5. Good luck as well, Johnny. Opinions on how Sudakov will do for points? I'd say 4 or 5 points. I'm going to go for 5. I think he'll get an assist. You can see my predictions right now, Petros. Can I change captain in the same day? No. So after today's games are done, and before tomorrow's matches begin, during the subs window, you can then make substitutions and change the captaincy for someone who hasn't played yet. You can't change the captaincy for players within the same day. You can't do that. Jorginho or Szoboszlai out, or take a hit and transfer both. I would have just got rid of Jorginho, which is what I did. Matchday 5 is the quarter or semi-finals. It's the quarterfinals. So Matchday 3 is obviously the last group stage game. Matchday 4 is the round of 16. 5 is going to be the quarterfinal. 6 is the semi-final. And 7 is the Euros final. Who are your favourites to win the Euros now, factoring in Matchday 1 performances? Well, France struggled against Austria, but they created quite a lot of chances. They just didn't convert them. And Austria are a decent team. So yeah, I think France is still one of my favourites. I'd also put Germany and Spain right up there in my top 4 based on the Matchday 1 performance, but we can't draw too many conclusions. I think Portugal have a great squad, and a bit like France, a bit lucky with their goal, but they also created quite a few opportunities. So yeah, my top 5 favourites are France, Germany, I'd say Portugal, Spain, and I'd say England, probably in that order, unless I'm forgetting somebody. No, I think those 5. Yeah. And in terms of who I think will win it, the most likely final for me is France-Germany. And I've gone for a France win, but let's wait and see. Honestly, it's very difficult to predict. Thank you, Dylan. Enjoy the match day. Likewise to you as well. Good luck. Man United is finished. Thanks for the answers. Good luck, bro. Likewise, Benita. I wish you all the very best. I'm going to start drafting Limitless squad day by day to avoid last-minute panic. That's a great idea. I'll probably do the same thing whilst watching Croatia versus Albania. Vlahovic or Mitrovic? Great question. I'd probably go for Mitrovic. He has a great record for the national team. And to be fair, Vlahovic also has a decent record. But I think Mitrovic is probably my best, well, my favourite, I think, between those two. CR7 and Wirtz and Gvardiol in for Mæhle, Mbappé, Eriksen -4. I would have just done 2 transfers for free and not take a -4. Do you know any good sites to build fantasy draft teams? Fantasy draft? That's a great question. I think Draft Hound do that. So you can build a team for FPL and also FPL draft. But apart from that, I'm not aware of any. Maguire captain. Well, remember, Johnny, Maguire's not in the tournament, isn't he? So yeah, goes without saying. I don't even need to say what I was going to say then. But some people who aren't aware, you can captain a player on each day within the match day. So today, let's actually check. Am I on the right screen? Yeah. So today you can captain a German player like Havertz. Tomorrow you can then go to Harry Kane. On the 21st, you can go for, let's say, on the 21st is a bit difficult actually when you're looking at the options, but maybe Baumgartner or Sudakov. And then on the 22nd, you can captain a Cristiano Ronaldo or Bruno Fernandes. It's completely up to you. But yeah, hopefully it's all clear about how subs work and also the captaincy. I have tried to explain it as much as possible, and I know some people are kind of sick and tired of me saying it, but I want to also address the new viewers and the new players of Euro Fantasy. But yeah, if you play UCL Fantasy, a lot of this will be second nature to you. If you haven't already, smash the like button. Let's get the stream to over 200 likes. It'd be massively appreciated. Thank you to those that have tuned in throughout the entire stream. It's been a pleasure, and it's gone by very quickly. Stallone says France versus Portugal, in my opinion. Germany versus Portugal would be an incredible semi-final. Yeah, I also got a similar semi-final. I think I've got the exact same predicted. So yeah, I just think home advantage could be massive for Germany, but it's difficult to judge them based on that performance because Scotland were terrible. 7 minutes and Gvardiol has 2 balls recovered. I might be feasting. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, Gvardiol in UCL Fantasy was very good for that. And that's, yeah, one of the biggest misses I have for this match day. no Croatia defenders, no Livakovic, so I'd actually be hoping for a Albania goal. Yeah, hopefully not. If Jorginho gets a penalty today, I think this... Well, I've already had my worst start to Euro Fantasy or any fantasy game ever. That would just be the salt in the wounds. Almost transferred CR7 and someone out for Mitrovic and Bellingham, but bottled it. Okay, yeah, calm down, mate, calm down. We're not the worst in terms of that anyway. Trust me, there are worse. But yeah, thank you to everyone for tuning in. Let's now head over to the Croatia versus Albania game. If you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new. Let's get this video to over 200 likes and let's keep on pushing towards 25,000 subscribers and beyond. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, DylanRCM, and check all the other links in the description below for my Patreon and the channel memberships for early access to my videos and all team reveals, even when, you know, I'm trying to prevent copying during UCL Fantasy or Euro Fantasy deadline streams. And also be sure to check out the Discord server, Draft Hound, and Spotify. Leave a 5-star review on my podcast. It goes a long way to supporting the channel. And I'll be greeting the remaining people here as well. No Croatia or Switzerland defense hurt me this match day. Yeah, probably will, to be fair. I'm also feeling the same way. Bye. I'll be playing FC Mobile. Fair enough. That's a plan. I'll be watching the game. Have a nice one, Dylan. Likewise, Beardy. Great channel. Thank you very much for watching as well. It's always a pleasure talking to you. And yeah, it's honestly, these last 2 hours almost have gone by very quickly indeed. But hopefully we get a lot of goals today. And I'm actually kind of hoping for Albania to do something because I didn't play the Limitless in the end, which was my original plan before the tournament started. Cheers as well, Tommy Raw. Best of luck for the rest of the matches. Likewise, I definitely need it because Matchday 1 was a disaster. Surely it's not going to be the same thing now, right? Well, who even knows? And by the way, people ask for impressions. Maybe now's a good time to do it. When you see my social media, you know, stuff on screen instead of my dumb face. Maybe I could do that before going off. Right now, I'm getting the game on, so hopefully you don't get shook by any sudden noises. But yeah, if you've got any more questions or stuff like that, I wouldn't actually mind talking for a little bit longer.
And the company number
yeah.
of a complete unrelated business that is set up back in, and they were selling all manner of stuff.
Okay.
Selling also.
My controller's not working properly. I'm trying to mute the TV and it's not doing it. But yeah, I'm gonna get the game up now and enjoy the rest of the day, really. Yeah, so if I do seem like I'm waffling more than usual, it's probably because I woke up at 6. That will be my excuse. If that's a good enough excuse, be sure to let me know in the live chat. But I'm still here. You're probably thinking, oh, Dylan, I thought you were going, man. Just end the stream. Fair enough, but that's the way I am, isn't it? This control's not working, by the way. So, you know, it's going to be difficult to get the game on. Okay, done. And it's 1-0 Albania. Come on. Come on, lads. Albania, come on. Sorry, but Gavadio, piss off, yeah? Limitless in the mud. I'm joking, come on. I'm sorry. People are going to be like, oh, no, I'm unsubscribing. I don't know why I made you sound German, but come on, Albania. Another early goal. Wow. I'm not Albanian, by the way. I know some Albanians, especially at work, but yeah, that is, wow. Okay, I definitely want to see your thoughts now. Yeah, God is like, no! It's like, yeah, it's like Darth Vader. Ah, mate, that's one free transfer in the mud. Oh well, at least you didn't play your Limitless, and Gavadio can still get you good ball recovery points, so yeah. It does seem like I'm rubbing it in. I'm just kind of happy for myself because I'm a terrible manager. Unsubbed and reported for abuse, fair enough. I'd do the same thing, mate. Dylan's an absolute twat. Was a disaster for most of us. Yeah, I know, but you always have some people, by the way, in the comment section that say, you only got 40 points? You're terrible. How do you make videos? I just do it for fun, mate. I do it for fun. And I typically do all right in these fantasy games, but not so far. Yeah, good to see you as well. Beardy, Stevie G. Yeah, maybe. But what am I going to do? Yeah, of course. But it's not going to be great, you know. I think there's definitely better impressionists for Stevie G. Albania 1-0 up. Yes. Free ball recoveries. Let's go. Yeah, but that was before you saw the goal. Albania scored. Gavadio owners. Oh, damn. Yeah, Man United's finished. Calm down, man. You seem to be at everybody today. My Gavadio pick in the mud. He's got 3 ball recoveries, though. I could see him getting 4 or 5 points, to be fair. I'm not going to lie. I put 2-0 Croatia. So my prediction's already in the mud. Limitless guy's crying. I just think it's going to be an awkward tournament. No matter where we play the Limitless, I just think it's going to be a very awkward one. So, look, it's so early to judge, but if this tournament keeps on going the way it has been with surprising Euro fantasy hauls, I'm not going to lie, we could see maybe a very low scoring tournament, and it's going to come down to very fine margins indeed. I currently feel the same way Uncharted made Dylan feel. Yeah, look, I love Uncharted generally, but don't play on Brutal where you get killed in 1 or 2 shots. Yeah, if you haven't seen already, by the way, because normally I seem quite calm in these streams and stuff, if you want to see me rage, check out my Uncharted Rage video. And at one point, I actually uploaded my Fortnite rages and stuff, and they were also quite bad. Limitless Matchday 3, no matter what, I can't lie. Yeah, I think so too. But I think by that stage, we'll have a better understanding of the best teams and the best players in Euro Fantasy. Badgeraz says Dubravka, Mulder, Mark Gay, Calafiori, Ake, Barella, Kante, Bellingham, Wirtz, Musiala, and Morata would be my team of the tournament so far. Yeah, great picks, by the way, but after one game, of course, a lot could certainly change, but I find myself struggling to disagree with a lot of what you said, really. There's probably maybe 1 or 2. You could add some more Romanian players in there, for example, but yeah, I think that's absolutely fine. Yeah, Romania really caught me by surprise. Now, I never expected Ukraine to beat them comfortably. I actually put 1-0 in my prediction for Ukraine, but going into the tournament, Romania were winless in 4 matches and they had back-to-back 0-0 draws. So I was always looking at them from a defensive perspective, especially their 4 million defenders, but I never considered Stanisiu or Man and all these other attacking options, but they were very impressive. Both Limitless seems risky though. I'm worried about Matchday 3 rotation. Yeah, and also if you use it in Matchday 5, 6 or 7, I think there's just pros and cons to every single Matchday at the moment. It's 2-0. Oh no, okay, no, sorry, I'm blind, by the way, that's my excuse. I'm blind? Are you fucking blind? You can't see me. But yeah, by the way, as soon as I put this game on, and I'm waffling right now, going on a tangent, Albania scored, so maybe I have to do that again. But yeah, I think at the moment, the Limitless just seems very difficult to nail on. But look, we've just started this game. Croatia could still score 3 or 4, and you could see Maja and Pekovic and Kramaric all doing well, Modric as well. Fabian Ruiz would be a shout too. Yeah, if he performs well in Matchday 2, I'd be very intrigued against Albania, who, to be fair, have performed quite decent in this Euros. Zabaleta as the assistant manager, Silvinho as the head coach. You know what's funny? That You Can't See Me Guy is Turkish. Oh, yeah, is he? Yeah. Fair enough. I actually didn't know his nationality, but it's an iconic video in the London streets for some reason. It's funny. Ain't no one safe from me. I ain't chilling. Well, leave Arsenal out of it, okay? You can save your Arsenal slander for August, but for now, let's forget they exist, right? Because I need a bit of a break. I'm joking. It's not that bad, you know. It's definitely worse in the past supporting Arsenal. It's a bit better now. But all my focus will be on Argentina, and I'm a neutral at the Euros, which is good because otherwise I'd be emotionally drained, that's for sure. But yeah, still good talking to all of you. And by the way, football isn't the only thing that exists in the world. There is films, TV shows, so if you want to talk about that for a little bit, why not? Why not? By the way, after the Matchday 3 stream, once we've locked in our Limitless, can you not tune into the match on stream? Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, or if I probably will, but I won't say anything. Yeah, I'll see. No guarantees, but I'll bear in mind what you're saying because some people are behind and they don't want to be spoiled, which I completely understand. Yeah, the thing is with Saliba, though, I think he had some shaky moments, and in one of them he was bailed out by Kante. But then you look on Twitter and people are saying that's the worst international debut of all time. Come on, man. Like, he was, I'd say, decent, but had some shaky moments. He reminded me of Saliba in the Champions League knockouts, where he didn't show his best level, but I still think he's a top defender. Please, Gavardio, just nick a goal for me. Still possible, mate. Gavardio, you saw what he did at Man City towards the end. In the 3rd place playoff of the World Cup, he scored when I didn't have him. So I'm joking, bro. I meant to say don't jinx us again. Oh, fair enough. Okay, fair enough. No, but that's another point worth mentioning. But yeah. Do you miss FPL Dylan? What do you mean? Do you you miss FPL? No. And it was my worst ever season in FPL, finishing just outside the top 100k. I still enjoyed myself, but I have to say, yeah, it's probably the least enjoyable season I've had up to date. If I speak what I want to say about Arsenal, I'm going to get sentenced to death. Yeah, I know you're a channel member, mate, but I can still block you. JCRHjQ. A lot of surprises, though, at this tournament. What is happening? Players are tired. Well, it's funny, right? Because if you look at it, a lot of the favourites have won. For the first time in Euros history, Portugal, France, Spain, England, Italy, and one more nation, Germany, they've all won the opening game. But you see Belgium losing 1-0 to Slovakia. Portugal struggled. France relied on an own goal to win. You look at Croatia losing to Albania right now. I'm not sure, to be honest, what it is, but I do think the gap between nations is closing. So Albania are the worst or the second worst ranked team at the Euros, but they can still give Italy and Croatia good games, it seems like, based on what we've seen so far. So, yeah, I just think that the gap between different countries is getting smaller, and there aren't as many standout teams or players as there used to be in football. So I think that's my main explanation, but there is more to it than that, of course. And I think tactics and the way football is going is a big part of that. But hopefully there's more goals in this. I actually don't mind if Croatia score a few goals as well. Nothing against them, of course, but I am quite happy to see the clean sheet in the mud, because I was very close to playing the Limitless, and if I saw Gvardiol score in like 10 minutes, I would have massively regretted it already, and I've already had a poor start, so allow me that, okay? But thank you to everyone for watching. Let's now just watch the game and enjoy ourselves and not listen to a guy called Dylan chat absolute nonsense for over 2 hours, which is what we've done in this stream today. So you can see my social media platforms on screen, DylanRCM for Twitter and Instagram. There is a Discord server as well. My Patreon page is www.patreon.com/DylanRCM. You can get early access to all my videos and also to my team reveals as soon as I decide on what I'm actually going to do, because I'm an indecisive idiot. And Albania are coming through here, but that is recovered by the number 6. I think that's Brozovic, if I'm not mistaken. I am actually using 240p quality right now because my antenna is in the ancient times, so apologies for that. But yeah, I'm also blind. Any other excuses, Dylan? Yeah, I've got 1 or 2 more lined up, don't worry. But let's see what else you lot are saying. Also forgot to thank Dylan for the Gula pick on his first draft. I stuck and was the best performer on my team. I'm glad to hear it, but he wasn't in my predicted lineup for the updated video because I think UEFA didn't have him there. And in the recent friendly, he came off the bench, did very well. I think he scored and assisted, but there was a chance that he didn't start. But in the end, he did. It was a great goal by him. Obviously, he has a lot of potential, and he could be a star for Real Madrid for the years to come. But yeah, it was a great goal. The goal of the tournament, definitely. And that, I can't imagine how you felt, actually. It's been a while since I got a goal from a Euro fantasy player. It's been about 3 years. Hopefully today, things change. I ain't holding out on anyone. Even if I support Liverpool, I'll still cook them. Yeah, look, you can say things about any team, even Madrid. You can say things about absolutely anybody, so I understand that, don't worry. But yeah, thank you, Goldhead. Thank you to everyone else for watching. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I will leave you to enjoy this game between Croatia and Albania, which looks lively so far, and I'm hoping for much more in the remaining games as well. I wish you all the best in terms of Euro fantasy points. If you are also from a Euros nation, good luck to your country, and enjoy the football as always. I'll catch you very soon for the next deadline stream, which should be on Sunday. And of course, I'll keep you up to date on the community tab, on Twitter, Instagram, and much more. So I'll see you very soon for the Euro Fantasy videos and live streams, and all the best of luck.